Summit Premier League Season 6 Finals weigh-in. We have in our finals, we have the Possum Posse and we have Chill Guys facing off against each other. And join me here for the weigh-in, the little interview, is Loco Poco for the Chill Guys and X-Ray for Possum Posse, the two managers of these teams. So first, I wanted to say Loco Poco, how are we?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
Good. And X-Ray, how are we doing?
I'm doing great, man. Happy to be here.
All right, sounds good. So this first question is going to be for both of you. Most of the questions will probably be for both of you. Did you foresee this path when you first drafted the team and started playing your games those first couple of weeks that you would be here in the finals?
um, for me, my team, when I went into drafts and planning my team, I wanted to draft a team to win. And so while I didn't necessarily plan to go, finish second in the season, I wanted to finish first, of course. But I expected us to do super well. We've had good comms for the majority of our games. We are learning after each series and improving on things we need to improve on, and we're setting our goals for each other. So uh, I'm I think this is a to be expected outcome for the side of Possum Posse.
As
Bullshit. Okay. Go ahead.
Shut
Go
up!
ahead,
Shut
Loco.
up!
uh when I was drafting my team and was thinking about all the drafts, just like X-Ray, and I scouted and questioned almost everybody that was in the draft. The main reason that you were on my list or wasn't was if you wanted to win, and that was the main goal for me this season. And I my third season back, I have two third places, never been to a finals, and finally broke that curse, so that's a good step. And when you draft the Michael Jordan, Tom Brady of Summit called Goblin, I think you're expected to be here. So um, I'll just get in his bag and
Uh,
let him carry me to the promised land. And
So that actually, sorry, finish your statement.
and even though we had a rough start, the whole team buy into the program of practicing every week and keep on getting better. And I think it showed really well in the final weeks when we locked in and found our play style and found our comms, and now we're in the finals defeating the number one team in the rankings, and just been uphill battle, and we're here in finals. And some people think we're a favorite because we beat them in the regular season, but it's a final, it's a best of five, anything can happen.
So what you said about the Tom Brady sort of thing makes me go into the second question here, because when I think of Chill Guys and I think of Possum Posse, you two are not the people I think of when I think of those teams. I think sort of like Nico's team or Blob's team or Thim's team, and I think of Goblin's team or Cisco's team. So how does it feel to be so irrelevant that even though you put these teams together, you sort of manage these teams that nobody thinks about you.
When you draft superstars, people are gonna watch them, and I'm just in the shadow, letting them shine. So I'll let Goblin, I'll let Gix. I think Gix is the biggest, one of the biggest underrated players this season. In my opinion, he's by far the best jungler, even though he's not the highest elo. He's shown in game out that he's the best jungler this season. And Seeker, I believe he's a rookie in Summit. He's balling out as well. They just defeated the best bot lane, like in Elo wise. Like you ban a one trick and now you beat the best bot lane. And I think my team has been really well. And like I said, I don't mind being in a shadow. I've been in three teams, and every team I've been on has superstars, and that was never me. So I'm fine. I just want to win.
All right,
yeah,
X-Ray, answer the question.
yeah. I definitely agree with Loco here. It's like my play style has never been like I'm a star, right? I'm very weak side top
You
laner.
sure tried to make
Uh,
yourself one.
I did try to make myself
Solo
one.
Bolo
I
King.
did, but Solo Bowl King. I mean, but I guess I still am the Soul Bowl King, but it's like when I am the Soul Bowl King, I'm playing weak side top laners and I'm creating leads with those solo or weak side top laners. So and
Unless you're playing loco,
I
right?
yeah, unless I'm playing Loco, then I'm
Just
gonna
ban
pick
just ban
Urgot.
him Bessa.
I didn't even play on Bessa into him. Didn't need to.
Yeah, but no, I think honestly, I'm okay with being in the background. I definitely want some star power, but it's like I'm not gonna be able to get that unless I play, those carry champions. But I'm okay with being in the background because Nico, them, and Blob, they're popping off this season. Playing really well, and even Adams being a really good supporting cast as well. So
That's true. Shout out to my goat Adam. Great Renata Glass. Okay, so now we're going to go into the next question. Obviously, I would hope that both of you guys think that you're going to win. Even Loco, you have some evidence to back it up that you think that your team can beat this team. But I wanted to ask, do you think it's going to be a 3-2, a 3-1, a 3-0? How quickly, how definitively? Either of you can answer this question first.
I think a 3-1 is fair. Chill guys, obviously, I got to root for my team. Um, I we found some flaws in their gameplay, I believe, and hopefully we can exploit them. Hopefully they find flaws in our gameplay
Well,
too, right?
yeah, I mean
That's the whole goal.
they kind of just, if they start tilting,
And I wouldn't even say that. We found better evidence, and obviously we were able to exploit that the first time we met them and beating them 2-0. And I think we'll drop a game because they have like you mentioned and he mentioned that they have good firepower. But I would not be surprised if we 3 on them.
All right,
wow,
X-Ray. You
wow,
just gonna
you
take
think you're
that?
that confident to 3-0 us?
Yep.
I call BS, honestly. Like I
We
want to
2-0'd
say
you
it would.
once, and the games wasn't even close.
Yeah, and honestly, I want to thank you for 2-0ing us. That kind of opened our eyes a little bit. It's like, hey, we're a good team, but we're not good enough to just 2-0 every single team, right? So we
Yeah,
took a step back
exactly.
and looked at ourselves and gave ourselves goals and stuff we need to work on. And we actually start putting in time in rank games and everything like that. I have more ranked games in the past like 2 weeks than I have the whole season, okay? So I've been putting in work. So
Proud of you,
I
X-Ray.
I think honestly I don't think it's going to be three games. I think it's going to be 4 or 5 games. I think it's going to be a very close series. Of course, we're going to win it. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Chill Guys win it as well. But I got confidence in my team. We're going to win it all. Shout out to Possum Posse.
That is true. However, I must concede, X-Ray, that you guys are going to be missing the Summit Premier League Season 4 champion, who absolutely turbo stomped last week. James Sunderland, aka Dan Smith, aka
Yeah.
Jerboas. That guy's thresh was so good. I'm sorry, I'm glazing my boy, but he's
No, they had
he's
to bring the big guns to beat NFC. You know they had to.
yeah.
They
So
had to bring the big
how do you
guns.
foresee seeing no Jerboas? Major downgrade. I'm sorry, Adam. I like you, but Jerboas is my guy.
I don't see that as a downgrade.
You don't
Honestly,
you don't see it as a
I just see it as
downgrade?
an upgrade. I don't see it as an upgrade. I don't see it as a
Oh,
downgrade.
you're
I
trying to
think
speak
I think
politically.
Adam, I think Adam and Jerboas, they both have different play styles, and they understand what they need to do for both their play styles.
got to go to the eye
So
doctor, X-Ray.
shut up, Loco. I'm talking right now. All right, your fucking Nar gameplay. All right, shut the fuck up,
You
range
gonna
top
ban it?
laners.
Well, if you gotta ban it,
I
ban it,
ain't
man.
gonna tell you shit.
Or
Shut
are you
up,
gonna
Logan.
you gotta play your
I gotta
Garen
ask
into
the
it?
question. I
You gonna
gotta
play
ask
your
the
Garen
question.
into it?
Let me answer. Let me answer the question. All right. Jesus, man, I can't deal with these rookies. But honestly,
Loco's not a
I think
rookie.
I
Yeah,
know.
3 seasons, bro.
I just couldn't think of anything to say.
I played with you
But no,
last season.
I know. Shut up. Let me answer the question. Fuck. No, I
Jerboa
honestly
is better.
think
Just admit to it. Stop going around the question, X-Ray.
Jerbois is not a downgrade. I think Adam.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean, he
upgrade.
was at a wedding. He was at his mom's wedding specifically, so we had to sub him out.
Adam, I
I
think it
didn't
was a
want
good
to.
wedding. I hope it was a good wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
and
food.
honestly, I think Jerbois really good player, but Adam, we've been playing with him the whole season, so we know what he can do and what he can't do. So I'm excited to bring him back for the finals and kick Goblin's ass in the bot lane.
Wait, you're gonna be
Yeah.
playing bot lane?
Yeah, I'm playing bot lane. All right.
Yeah.
There's new tech coming out. Urgot bot lane, if you know what I mean.
There you go. Pick your guy. I already beat it once. Just
Yeah, you
remember.
did.
Just
But
remember.
I wouldn't be so cocky though.
It's just a game, X-Ray. I'm chilling. I got the
You
best bot lane in the
chilling?
league. I got the best jungler in the league.
Ooh,
So
really?
yeah, BX is the best
Are you
jungler
sure?
this season.
You
Yeah,
sure?
100%.
Loblob's been popping off, man. You sure about that? You see
Nah,
Zenjal last week?
all I saw was a Nautilus played by Jerboas and a Thresh. That guy popped off.
Wow.
He
All
won,
right. Well,
and
hey,
MFC kept forcing
I just
fights.
want to let you
4v5.
know, reality check. Jabos isn't here, so might need to start looking at some of our other players if you really want to get prepared.
No thanks. I'd rather not.
Yeah, Jerboas played better than all of them together.
Actually, no, Blob's my goat. I wish him well. I don't have any opinion either way about how the series goes, but he's my goat just because he's British.
Oh, I didn't know it was British.
Yeah, he's from the
Yeah,
UK.
if you hear him speak, he's like,
He does say pre-game he does have a cup of tea. He says
regarding
tea
that last question, PvP, my answer to that is Jerboas was a massive upgrade. And they're gonna get downgraded again with Adam. I'll respect that Adam, but Jerboas was an upgrade.
Yeah, dang. There we go. Putting some respect on Dan Smith, and ultimately, you guys are both in the top lane together. Hopefully, probably. I don't expect this. I don't expect any not shenanigans. How do you think the lane is gonna go? How is it gonna be? How's it gonna look?
Loco will probably kick my ass, but I'll just play a weak side top laner and I'll just play for my team and win.
Do you realize that we both get weak sided, X-Ray?
Yeah, so it's gonna be whoever's better.
Yeah, and what happened last time, X-Ray? You just said I was gonna kick your ass. We both get weak sided.
Listen, bro, I've been working on some tech.
Yeah,
listen,
your
my
Garen
Garen
tech?
is about yeah.
Yeah, you think I'm worried about a Garen? Really?
Yeah, I think you are actually.
Oh my god, every
That
champion
shit
I
got
play
nerfed,
counters
bro.
Garen. Every champion I play
Listen,
counters
all
Garen.
I'm gonna yell is Demacia, and then I'm just gonna ult you, and you're gonna be
You're gonna ult
dead.
Demacia from where? From base? From the grave?
No, I'm gonna Demacia on top of you.
Huh?
Pretty simple.
You can pick all these top laners with execute on their ultimate. It doesn't matter when you're dead. Look at your Urgot last time it played me. Perma gray screen.
You sure? You sure it's gonna go the same way?
I have a good feeling.
You have a good feeling, really.
Yeah,
Just
like
ban
I
Orin.
said,
This
I'm
guy's
pretty
homeless.
Okay, I mean if that's how you feel, man. But I mean I don't think top lane's gonna go the same way as you think it is.
I don't think it's gonna go the same way. I think you're gonna play a little bit more cautious because it's the finals, honestly. And
You said I was gonna play cautious.
yeah.
I foresee bad things if you don't play cautiously.
But I think it's normal, right? It's the finals. Everybody's gonna have a little bit of nerves, but hopefully eventually the nerves kicks out and we all have a great game and good for the viewers and hopefully we don't 3-0 yet because I want a good game for the viewers.
That is true.
Loco knows me very well because of our time as sprinklers tinklers, so he knows more of how I play top lane and everything like that because of our time on sprinklers tinklers. So
Actually, I was mid lane, so I had to focus my own lane. I was too busy trolling sprinkler. It was too funny.
Wait, I forgot. You were the mid laner on that team?
Yeah.
Dang. Forgot about
I
that.
was playing. Yeah, I played top the first season I was on Summit, and then played mid, and I'll play top
Yeah,
again.
no, I
And
remember. I remember your first season. I knocked your ass out.
yeah, you did.
Yeah. Anyway,
I knocked your ass out the first season, X-Ray. Why are
that's
you
true.
laughing?
He was playing Maokai.
Yeah, you tried perma camping me,
Oh.
try to perma camp
Yeah,
Sprinkler,
because I got
and I
subbed
beat
into the
your ass.
team last
Hey,
minute, bro. What do you want from me?
if you take a
And I'm
permanent
playing
sub,
jungle. What do you
you
want
you
from me?
you took a permanent sub in, you gotta just take the consequences. If you don't think you can win, you try camping me. You literally live top. I bought so many pink wards that game because you perma camp Sprinkler, and I did not die to one gank. That was goaded.
You
Zombie
want a
win
gold
Sprinkler.
star? Did you win
I
this?
would
Did you win the? You won the series. Congrats! Woo! You did a good
dude.
job.
I
Did
would
you
see you
win the
on the
finals?
ward.
No.
I would see you on the ward. I would walk up in lane. You would cancel your back, and I would walk back. It was the most comical. Like I was dying laughing in comms with Dognatus. Like we were just dying laughing because like I would walk up, you'd cancel your back trying to gank me again, and I would just back up again and walk up, and you'd spend like 3 minutes top in a row just
Are we
trying to
done
gank
talking
top.
about 2 seasons ago? Can we get back to season 6 so
Oh,
we
he's
can
deflecting.
you know?
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
My bad.
That's
I
fine. He
touched the
still has.
nerve. I touched the nerve.
I
Okay,
listen, bro.
okay.
I got rushed.
Let's talk about one season ago. X-Ray. How do you rate your performance
Yeah.
from Summit Premier League Season 5?
Uh, gosh, I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember a lot from last season. All I know is we got knocked out in the into the third place match. But you know, I wouldn't say I played the worst, but I wouldn't say I played the best as well. So I definitely put myself as like a 6,
Wait,
maybe a
what?
5, average.
Right. Sorry, I forgot. X-Ray. Let's not talk about 2 seasons ago. Let's talk about 3 seasons ago. How was your performance in the Summit Premier League Season 3?
I
Uh,
wasn't here for that. I don't remember.
season 3. I don't even know what happened in season 3.
That was started last year, I believe.
What's oh, is that uh uh
That was the
uh
season you didn't get drafted. I'm pretty sure.
so how would I know?
No. It was
Uh,
season 4. Season 4. Wait, no.
Season 4 was
It
a
was
season.
it was season 4.
4. He didn't get drafted, and
That's true.
he got subbed
Okay.
in
Anyway,
for IP
sorry. I was just
Profit.
trying to make some stupid joke. Yes, that was the season. Yeah,
Okay.
season 4. Yes, and then you got subbed in for what was it, Gar or something?
No, he
No,
subbed it for I
for
Profit.
Sprinkler
I
Singlers.
Profit.
I
I
profit.
Profit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
Gar was a mid laner on that team.
Oh, that's true. No wonder he crashed out. So okay, so we talked about sort of the team overall, like how we think it's gonna do, and we've talked about the top lane matchup, and I guess Loco, you kind of sort of talked about the jungle. Okay, so let's talk about the mid lane. How do we think the mid lane's gonna go? Nico
Oh,
versus Cisco.
is there much to say? Nico is just a better player.
All right, put some
Cisco has
respect
a
on
lot of
Cisco.
knowledge.
His former
think
No,
teammate.
no, no.
Cisco-
Let me finish. Let me finish. Cisco has a lot of knowledge about the game and mid lane specifically, and his champ pool is very diverse. He has a very large champ pool. Trust me, I've counted how many champions he's played this season. But you know, I
scouting.
think, yeah, but you know, I think Nico, you know, he's been working on some picks, you know, and I think he's ready.
Yeah, the hot dog
He's put in the
champion.
most time. He's put in the most time in the league among the Possum Posse players. So I'm really excited
It's
for his
okay.
performance in the finals.
It's okay. I think Cisco's just been shitting on everybody he's been playing against. I don't think it'll be the same with Nico. I think Nico is a really good player. I just think Nico's elo, oh not Nico, Cisco's elo doesn't show how good he's been, right? He's been toe to toe with every mid laner he played. I never played a game and I thought, oh my god, I'm a handicap mid. It's more like I'm the one trolling usually on the team, or Gob, or Rob, but Cisco, I think, probably been one of the most consistent players on our team. Him and Gix, and they've been really well, and they've been stepping up really well vocally in the team. And I think that's what the big turnaround of our team was when we turned away from chill guys and more like chill guys that scream at each other and get it going. And
Mhm.
and I think Cisco's been playing super well, and he's a really important key of our team. I think we're I was looking at the stats of the Summit season apps. All five members of our team are top 9 in assist, and I think that shows how well we just play as a team. Like having 5 members in the top 9 or top 10, whatever you want to say, it sounds nicer. The top one is Seeker, goat, our best support in the league, and then having me in there is kind of crazy in my opinion. Like usually the
Yeah.
top laner,
You know what it tells me though? Just tells
play good
me
as a
you
team.
play no, you play around Goblin, and the only time you guys get kills is when Goblin gets kills. You're just there to assist.
I believe Gix is top 10 for kills, if I'm not mistaken, or
Okay,
maybe
so
it's
he's
Cisco.
so kill
But
steals then.
but Goblin is up there too. Gob is the most kills.
That's it.
Actually,
You're just
yeah,
confirming what I said.
yeah, Cisco is second in kills on our team. Yeah, Goblin is the most. But we play well as a team, and last week was kind of challenging. We had to play more topside because that was our weak point of the enemy team, and Rob had to sacrifice a little bit, but it turned out for the best.
Yeah.
Mm. I stole a couple champions from the X-ray book of killing Orn last season, and brought the barbarian out and made Pete's
Yeah.
life hell.
So brings me into my next question. So Loco, this one's for you, and then we'll talk about X-ray.
Okay.
Or X-ray will have the chance to answer for his version. How was it actually beating Gar's Crash Out class? Um, I
We
think they were favored to win, but they didn't really show it.
I think the same way that we think our team is really methodical. I would say, like I think every Rob's team is, but our team we always talk a lot about draft and talk a lot about scouting, and they almost feel like you're a professional team because how much we talk about how we're gonna play and how we're gonna abuse the other team's weakness. Because if you think about it, we might not have a GM player or a master player, but we have 5 really good players. We don't have a weak point, right? Like you don't have a silver player that you're like, oh, this guy's gonna get out of position all the time, or you don't have a super wink link. And Gar's team, we knew a couple things about them. Is that I was literally looking at a stat today, and I was talking about to a different team, because they were asking me about the same thing. And if you look at BR's record without Thresh, it's 7-5, and he's like undefeated on Thresh, and nobody banned it. Why? Like, you gonna let the guy be a one trick? Ban it. Like, try. And then you also got a top laner that plays 2 champions. That's all he plays, like GK and Orn. So you know what he's picking. Find a pick and do it. You have a week. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, that makes sense.
there was a, and I, if you look at back at game 1, Gix had a decent performance, not the best of his. And then we got the boys going, and we should have won game 1. I told all the boys, like, we should have won game 1. We lost 2 fights and lost the game. We should have lost game 2, and that was the game we won. And then we 3-1 won them. But we yeah, actually wasn't that hard. Once we banned the Orn, it was the 2 last games were pretty easy. But the Orn just brings so much power to that team, and they're fully reliant on Pete going 20-0. And if you take comfort away from the support, they don't go 20-0. So
All right.
and it's not like they're playing against a bad bot lane, right? I got a 2 diamond bot lane, so like they're playing like, okay, Peak. You could say Peak is better than Goblin. I don't think so. I think Goblin is like, they're both really similar players, right? You hear comms, they're both common a lot, but I think Goblin has a lot smaller role because he has players that can know what they're supposed to be doing, while Peak has to tell him, you can walk up this wave. You can't
All
walk
right.
this wave.
I'm gonna cut you off and tell you to wrap it up, and also
Yeah.
there needs to be more trash talk involved. I'm sorry. No, No sugarcoating. Were they just awful?
Uh,
Were they
uh,
underperform? Were they dog shit?
I think that team's problem was the draft. Like you can't draft 4 tanks and have a Corki and expect to do damage. Like there was one fight in game 3 that they're 5-0 and they get one shot by Sivir because they're all tanks. They don't get the Sivir. Like it's free game. Like I don't know. They're fully reliant on getting bot ahead, and if our bot didn't let them get 20k gold ahead like every other team let them do, it was free game because we have a team. We have we have a top side. Like even though I'm weak side, I was literally beating the fuck out of that thing Kench
Yeah, there you
and
go.
Horn. It was good.
All right, and X-Ray with Possum Posse. Sort of, how did your series with the Marmy fan club go? How did you gauge them?
Vosadiff.
I thought it was going to be closer. Unfortunately, I was very
Well, they brought
disappointed
in
to see that it
Don't
was.
worry, don't worry.
they
I
brought in the
listened.
big guns. They brought in the big guns. Vosadiff.
I listened to all the broadcasts, and I looked at the chat. Everyone was rooting for Army Fan Club. We were not
Fucking,
getting
you're
rooted
the
for.
villains, dude.
I was actually
We
cheering
were
for
the
you.
villains.
I was cheering for you guys. I got homies on your team.
Thanks, Loco. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Oh,
You're
I got
still a bitch,
you.
but
I
you
got.
know.
Oh my god. I got you, Nico, and them. I respect all you guys.
Yeah, for 100%.
And I like Blob because
But
he answered my questionnaire.
but
Pre-draft.
no, Marmy Fan Club. I mean, like I said, I mean, Chill Guys beating us like opened up our eyes. So we were gonna play Gars, but unfortunately, due to scheduling issues, we didn't get to play them. So
The only reason you
our
got third
first
place is you
game,
got the free win.
yeah. So you know, we took a step back and started to like plan more going into games, and so we did a lot of planning for this one. We definitely still respected Army Fan Club, but honestly, it just came down to poor fights and poor execution of drafts, and drafts in general were just not the best. I mean, game one specifically, when you pick 4 AP champions and I'm playing Shen, I can just build full MR and basically take 0 damage in the fights. So, it's
Tank
it came
abuser.
down it came down to how you know how they played in game two. Game two, we probably should have lost, but the Darius pick definitely was super big for us. When you pick 3 melees into Darius, he kind of just gets to stack his bleed, or 5 stack bleed, and just kind of runs over the team. And then just you have Tristana just jumping in, so it's just kind of free for game two, and then game three. I mean, honestly, well, I think what really screwed them is the lane swap. Heiko trying to ego me. We had the trash talk. He said he was gonna pick Vayne to me if we ever met up again. He picked Vayne and proceeded to go like 1-7.
Yeah, it was pretty
4-9.
depressing.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
this is probably the part in post or in editing where a picture of very cute cat Marmy shows up. X-Ray, do you hate this cat? Like, why did you commit violence to this cat?
you you know everyone. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I hate cats. All right. I'm a dog person. Cats are gross and disgusting.
Oh
All
my
right.
god.
I'm
How
a
dare
Hold,
you.
monster.
hold
All
me
right. You can
hold me
call me a
back. Hold me
monster.
back, logo.
Dude, oh my god, everybody's rooting for Chill Guys now. We're fan favorites.
No, okay. In all seriousness, I don't have a problem with cats. I have no problem with Marmy. But I think it just came down to execution. Okay, Marmy just was not cheering hard enough for Marmy fan club. So honestly, I think it's Marmy's fault. Just saying.
Oh,
Just
oh,
saying.
Ooh, oh,
oh.
Just
shooting the
saying.
cat. He's shooting
Oh,
the
he's
cat right
crying.
now,
I'm
guys.
shooting the
Marmy
cat.
He's
Marmy is
shooting the
crying
cat
right
right
now.
now.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Listen, Marmy, I'm just calling it how it is. All right. Listen, I'm just calling it how it is.
All right.
Nah, dude. Nah, you did not just shoot the cat, dude.
So we are approaching our wrap up time. So,
Already?
yeah, it's 30
No
30
more
minutes.
questions?
This was not supposed to be a long thing.
I told you guys let me talk, I'll talk all day.
Captain
No one
America
can
over
cut you
here.
off.
Um, final remarks. Final remarks. Loco, what do you got to say to X-Ray and to anyone else?
Um, I love most of your team friends, and I think that's why I'm gonna win. I'm gonna have the extra motivation, and hopefully it's good games. Like we're hoping for that, right? I think the whole summit wants that. Sadly, I don't think the last time my finals brought that much, even though it was chaotic as hell. I just think MFC just threw every game away, every 4v5 they forced for no fucking reason, and
Yeah.
and hopefully it's a good series. But like I said, X-Ray, pick your Garen. We'll see. Pick your execute top laners.
Thank you, thank you. I will.
All right.
I definitely will.
All right, X-Ray, your turn.
Honestly, I have a lot of respect for a lot of those players on the team. Loco played with that guy last season. Really loved the guy. Awesome player. And of course Gix and Goblin. I won the season 4 La Liga with them. So much love to those guys. Cisco, really good
Yeah,
guy.
back when it was
Seeker,
Mickey
don't know
Mouse.
you. Yeah, Seeker,
Seeker's
don't
the
know
goat.
you, but Seeker, bet you're a great guy. So I'm excited to play this series. Um, I'm hoping to win. Um, but honestly, I'm excited to play the series Saturday. Well, we're recording this on Thursday, so I'm
Spoilers.
excited. Spoilers. So 2 days. Get ready. We're here to play.
Just keep one thing in mind, everybody. That only one team has to go to Summit. Okay, I asked,
Me, me, X-Ray,
I
solo
asked one of
bolo
the
queue.
I asked one of the founders of Summit, like, hey, who's in the GOAT conversation? And there's only one person that's actively playing right now that I even know. There's 3 players, only one person I knew, and
X-Ray,
that was Rob.
X-Ray. No,
So
X-Ray.
Goblin's
I'm the
coming.
goat.
Okay, it's Tom
I
Brady.
played every
Okay,
single season.
it's
All
Michael
right,
Jordan. Okay,
Oh, wait, you
Michael
say you
Jordan.
played every single season
Yeah,
don't believe this guy.
in regular
I
season?
did.
In regular season?
No, but I did play in every single season.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, thank you, gentlemen. Please shake hands. I want a clean fight, fair fight.
Wait,
No punches below
other
the
way, other way,
Other
other
way.
way. X-ray,
Other,
other way.
no punches below the belt.
There we go.
All right. All right. Thank
Instantly
you.
goes for the balls.
Thank you. Thank you everyone who's going to be watching this. And I already know this is going to be 3-0 for Chill Guys. So, all right. Good
Shut
night,
up.
Good night,
That's what it was.
everyone. The show will start soon.
All right, everybody, welcome to season 6 of Summit Premier League Grand Finals. We have Possum Posse and Chill Guys facing off in this best of 5 series. Of course, I am joined here by my lovely colorcaster, Halfling. How are you? And are you ready?
Am I ready? I'm doing great. I think I'm actually really ready for this. Season's been going on for quite a while. It seems both these teams have been really wreaking havoc throughout this playoffs bracket, and no 100% due to quite a few former champions on both these teams and former teammates. So quite excited to watch that. And kind of like a brief little overview of what I have from both of these teams.
Mm.
Um, Looking at Chill Guys first. From what I've seen, they are super duper big on their ADC hard carries and just playing through snowballing and getting someone a ton of gold and just letting them push through there. Whereas um, my personal pick, Possum Posse, because I'm a big sucker for mid jungle carries. I don't know about you, Dustin, but I just love seeing. I like seeing teamwork over, the big one hyper carry.
Well, I kind of like the one big hypercarry, whether it's in top or in um ADC, because I am unfortunately an ADC main for the last like 3 seasons. So I do like the big scary hypercarry that just can kind of just run you down if you're not working together. So
Yeah, for sure. And we are getting into draft here real quick. Possum Posse elected for the red side after winning the side selection. So interesting to see maybe they're cooking up some sort of counter pick or some sort of strategy maybe on three or some interesting bands here because one big band we talked about before going live is that Neferi.
Yeah, for sure. I was really curious on what their prio would be for Neferi as we see a couple other of these shared champ pools fall off, especially Diana, which
Mm.
is a
Oh my gosh,
good
so
pick
quick.
for jungle, and they are just blazing through this as we get Ari on B1 here for the side of Chill Guys.
Yeah, interesting to see. It's almost kind of a takeaway from Possum Posse as well, although I did see some other picks there. So no big Ari Vi synergy coming through, Ari Viego coming through from the Possum Posse. So maybe Chill Guys can turn it on their head and run that themselves. Ari's a great push champion, and Vigar does stop that quite a bit. So maybe a little harder for the Ari to do whatever she wants.
Yeah, and I'm very like split on Vagar because you do have to dump a lot of resources into him because he kind of will be your hyper carry just because of late game scaling and he just
Mhm.
becomes a monster. So if he can just get some assistance and be able to push his lead, he will become a problem if he can stack up. And the Xin Zhao, however, also a very supportable champion, especially with his ultimate and just the amount of healing he gets back just from his base build. But if you ask me, could be contested. You can build him AP.
Oh, I don't think we're gonna see APs and Zhao.
Not here, but
Not
you
tonight.
know.
Maybe in your arena games later on, but Zidzao just does provide a lot of that front line and
Mhm.
Chill Guys opting right away, get that ADC hard carry right through and Nocturne. One of the champions they are pretty popular going through and maybe not the
Mhm.
best synergy with Ari. You know, you think of Nocturne, you think of the Oriana, you think of the Nico, but Ari does still have ways to use that, has ways to get some good TP flanks, has some ways to find some good Spirit Rush flanks as well. So keep your eyes really on how they're going to use that paranoia, especially around level 6 and level 9.
Yeah, I think it's gonna kind of be every laner for themselves until Nocturne can get online at 6, and then it's just kind of free game. Whoever can make a good gank for Nocturne, he is going to be slamming that R button. So we see Urgot here, which is not any surprise here for this top lane, is Bwipo kind of leading the way from last split, showing how good he can be.
X-Ray also has lots of games on this
Mhm.
Urgot as well, and looks to be a complete menace. And it's pretty hard to counter, especially when you can ban out some of these picks, such as the Gnar. Gnar's a really, really hard matchup for Urgot to deal with because you just can't close that distance. So I'm also expecting maybe a Mundo ban, maybe a Cho'Gath ban. So either way, though, that's a really good red side strategy here. Pick your top lane early, give your support and AD carry maybe a little bit of room, maybe let that Vigar be a little bit of a question towards bot lane, um, and just kind of conceal a little bit more information when you can ban stuff out there. The Renata, two enchanters looking to be taken off the board here. Renata very good with the Jinx, and Lulu also just so hard to deal with. Renata could also be a precursor maybe to a Callista coming through as well.
Yeah, I think regardless if you have a team oriented style, Callista can just be such a menace. Just with how much coordination you have, it can work out really well. But yeah, the enchanters, no surprise there, especially Lulu with the polymorph. If anybody gets a little bit too crazy, Lulu can just take her little wand and her pixie and say, "You don't get to do anything for the next 1.5 seconds."
Yeah, they had to. It was so good they had to take that out. Tristana also taken off the board. One of a champion I've actually seen kind of pop up a little bit in the frameworks is a really good answer into the Jinx meta that we've been having. But Sivir's also kind of a little bit on the opposite side of that spectrum, but still really, really good. Especially when you have a team that maybe lacks a little bit of mobility, like an Urgot or Vigar. That Sivir ult's going to be super duper helpful for them to stick onto their diving targets and appeal as well alongside those boomerang bounces.
Yeah, and I think especially when you have like the Ari, you have Nocta that has a movement ability, it's just a little better to if you are trying to push something or get onto the enemy team, you have that more mobility to be able um just kind of run them down. And if it's a winning fight, both ways. So as we see a Seraphine here, which is really nice. With the stun and also the slow that comes with it. For the Jinx, I do like seeing her with just my personal preference with Ash, and that combo is really gross. But yeah, I like this for cool guys here or chill guys. Sorry, not cool guys. For this draft they have cooking up here and a Malphite for the top lane.
Malphite's a pretty safe champion of the Urgot. Urgot has ways to deal with it, especially with you running Black Cleaver first most of the time. So not necessarily a terrible matchup. Great engage and a really good way to kind of just definitively start a fight following up Paranoia from this Nocturne. And as you
Mhm.
mentioned, that Seraphine being able to root off of that Jinx app is going to be really, really important. And Nautilus maybe not so much on theme with the rest of this comp because they just needed some sort of engage. And
Mhm.
they want it more instant, maybe not as dangerous as a Leona Zenith Blade. So Nautilus Hook, very, very much a good option with that, especially being able to challenge that Seraphine for the bushes and lane a lot earlier
Mhm.
and group up with your Xin Zhao to try and deal with maybe a first grubs fight.
Yeah, and I feel like they still do have that like point and click like engage. You have the Nautilus R if you can catch like the Jinx or the Ari. And then you have a lot of like follow-up CC if that is going to be your first point of engage. You have the Urgot throw, you have the Vigar cage. It can all like lead into like some really gross CC chains if you can get that like perfect timeline of like the Nautilus R, the Urgot throwing it back into the Vigar cage, and then like the champion, whoever you take, is just not able to play.
Yeah, that CC is going to be just so hard to deal with, especially
Mm.
around like those mid game, maybe 3v3, 2v2 skirmishes that they can really get up to. So the eyes are really going to be on the Possum Posse to make something happen early. And really, the only response Chill Guys is going to have is going to be waiting till 6 and Ari, because Jinx generally is going to struggle for damage a little bit, especially when you're trying to out damage a Xin Zhao on top of your face. So kind of with that, both these teams finished on drafts. Uh, what do you got? Who's winning this game, Dustin?
Mm, I honestly have to go for the late game. Not I don't even know if it'll be late game, but the Vigar. Really feel like picking it first and being able to really kind of build your team around it, being able to keep him safe as well. I think if they can execute well, I think they have this game in the bag here.
Yeah, Possum Posse. So you got Possum Posse. I'll keep it a little interesting. I'm big on mid jungle, but I'll take Chill Guys for this game for sure. I still do like what Ari and Nocturne can do, especially around level
Mhm.
6. So we'll keep our eyes on that for sure. And Seraphine picking up Rylai's is going to be pretty hard to deal with for Peel. So to me, I feel like this definitive engage from Malphite and the hyper carry Jinx is going to succeed for this. So we as the casters have shared our thoughts. Don't forget you guys in chat to fill out the prediction there. Use your channel points. Spend, spend, and spend to support everyone here.
All right. Well, with that, we are going to hop to a short break, and then we will see you guys on the Rift for game number 1 here of the grand finals of Possum Posse versus Chill Guys.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Summit Premier League Season 6 Grand Finals between Possum Posse and the Chill Guys. As a little bit of an invade plan actually coming in through from Possum Posse's is just walking around trying to abuse that Nautilus hook for a little bit of level 1 advantage.
Yeah, I mean, when you have the Nautilus or like the Blitzcrank, it's something to be expected that you can't walk it close to any of the bushes, or you're just going to get hooked into the Fnatic Death Bush.
For sure, but I wish they were kind of pushing this. Maybe they're trying to delay this invade a little bit, but I almost feel like you should push a little sooner. Just a little
Can't
bit
give
of a ward
vision
on
on
Raptor.
Seraphine. They got
That is
any kind of
sad.
vision. I don't think she recalls back to base in time for that Nautilus hook to come out. But I mean, I don't mind the late invade because Chill Guys could just be waiting around expecting it, and then you have this big level 1 team fight. But Chill Guys looking to play it safe, just get some counter vision as well in that top side. So I don't know. It's gonna be definitely a lot going on in the bot side. As I feel like this Vigar is just gonna want to have a little bit of a farm off.
Yeah, they're just gonna kind of play it all. At least Possum Posse is gonna want to try and play it very, very slow with this Vigar with the Sivir, and also try and match that Piper scale. But they're gonna try and abuse their CC a little more, of course. But they still need to kind of turn up the heat with this Xin Zhao and Urgot in the top lane, especially. I really expect a lot of action coming around Grubs, but for now, gonna be lots of trades, a little bit of poke coming out there. As the Seraphine does have the advantage with all those minions, so. But
Yeah.
nothing fun for now. No great action quite yet.
No, Loco Poco just kind of getting pushed under his tower here, as X-Ray just having such better clear and being able to just kind of shove him under, because Malphite going the Dorian Shield to get a little bit more HP back for the trades. Not going to really be hurting all that much. Assuming it's going to be a full tank, this Malphite will become a problem later if he can keep up in the game and be able to be that big frontliner that Chill Guys is looking for.
Yeah. And alongside that, these junglers clearing away from the top laners. It's just I was saying, man, I really wish there was some action top lane. No action top lane. These junglers going to meet up on that bot crowd just on time. So it's going to be a little interesting to see maybe with Goblin and Seeker here having this priority, or at least the option for priority right now from bot lane. Is there going to be a contest around this Fellow crowd?
I mean, there very well could be, especially because, I mean, it would be interesting to see a fight top lane, but we do get X-Ray just kind of going all in here on Loki Poco, and with Urgot, you really are just able to do that if you hit a nice throw, but I kind of expected there to be a lot of contention bot side just to get one of these hyper carries ahead, whether it be them or Goblin. But yeah, I think they'll just have the tried and true 1v1 up there for the at least first 10 minutes.
Yeah, the tried and true 1v1 did really look okay for X-Ray there. Loki Poco dropping their TP first. Actually, a fight mid lane here.
A good charm, but a really good cage there by Nikus. Really chunking out Cisco there. It looked for a little bit like Cisco kind of had the advantage, but both junglers are passing the exact same way. So much contention for these crabs. As this might get taken, and a flash is going to have to be burned by Blob here, as Cisco would have landed a nice charm.
Yeah, that flash is very, very important for Xin Zhao because you have this gank window now a little bit. Once Nikus is able to get their reset off and get some mana back, you can still cage this Ahri before she gets that 6 off and abuse that flash. But now that Blobfish doesn't have their flash anymore, it's going to be a little harder. But still, Cisco missing that flash is going to be pretty big around this incoming Grubfight. Nikus
Really good
really
charm
low.
and the electrocute, getting the W and not going to be able to live, as Nikus is going to make it out, but Vigar with no mana is not going to do the damage. Thinking to pull back on the Q as well with that true damage doing so much, but Nikus will escape with his life and TP back.
So close to getting that kill there. Cisco was hungry for that solo kill there, especially the little revenge for losing their flash. Now this Vigar also lacking the flash. It's gonna be really scary around that paranoia timer, and that clock is ticking down really quick here. A couple more camps is gonna be really hard for this Vigar to deal with.
Yeah, as we see,
Wait a
Nick is
minute.
getting a really good stun on the Cisco, but I don't think it's going to be enough with the fear and the flash from Gix here. Getting charmed, that's going to be a first blood over to Gix, trying to get away, but Blob is there, getting the electrocute from Cisco. Blob is going to have to leave here very low, but both junglers will get out. Nick is going to be the only unfortunate one to die.
That's a really good roam from Seeker there. Abusing that back timer from Adam is one real way that you can have a lot of impact as support. Skip the back timer, run up mid, and use your CC really well. Adam here finding Goblin.
Finding Goblin, but I don't think it's going to be too much. Thim's a little bit too far away. Landing all the CC, just going to chunk him down just a bit.
A lot of damage from a support right there, but Seeker still had a lot more impact with that mid lane play. Didn't even lose their flash, using the heal also to keep Gix alive. That's going to be really dangerous for this Nocturne. Getting that first blood gold is huge, to be honest, and it's going to be hard to deal with come, what, 1 minute or so once all these laners meet up for their first little fight.
Yeah, I mean, with Dragon and with Grubs both up, nothing really, like, nobody going for, like, an early objective quite yet. You do have X-Ray just kind of pushing in Loco Poco here. So those Grubs do have an advantage, or they do have an advantage for Grubs if Loco Poco can keep them pushed in. Or X-Ray can keep Loco Poco pushed in.
I think Urgot has a very easy time doing that in this matchup because you don't want to lose too much HP here. You also don't want to push so far up without any real deep vision on this Nocturne. Nocturne just dinged 6 there. You can see him walking top lane. He's going to spot out Xin on those Grubs here as X-Ray has his power and is able to run down first.
He's able to go down here. There's going to be one Grub taken here. His lights go off here, getting a near sight. Yeah, but it's going to be a Charmer, but Blob is just going to pick one up really easily as everyone's still very healthy. One Grub for his life is all that Gix is going to get here. Nick is in a little bit of a bad spot, but will get away. Then just getting bullied under tower.
It's
like a give and take, you know.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a give and take down there. But good roam from X-Ray and Nickus, honestly, both abusing their priority that they're finding in this matchup, finding off those back timers. And honestly, a little bit of a mistake from Gix there. Almost could have been something as now Block is really abusing it.
That's a really big ult to take away from Loco Poco though early. With that was a really good gank timer as well. Just being able to get that was so big.
It does show you though, and it does cost this dragon. Realistically, he wasn't competing for it anyway, but still losing that dragon guaranteed is also going to force your bot lane to back here with Nocturne in bot lane. Even though they don't have the paranoia, still going to be a gank threat with that wave all the way pushed up the tower. So just take the back timer, reset, take your gold, especially with this little bit of a gold lead kind of emerging, especially my eyes looking towards this jungler right now with most of that lead other than some real basic farms.
Yeah, and I think that they're okay with giving away the dragon as we see Gix just taking away a blue buff from Blob, but I think they're going to be more focused on these Grubs, especially when you have Urgot, when you have Sivir being able to side lane on those towers later in the game. So I think giving away a dragon or two for 5 Grubs now, but you only need 4, would probably be is what they're trying to go for here.
Yeah, especially with how strong this Urgot, how scary this Urgot really looks already. Just with that Phage and Pickaxe already, really forcing Malphite just to burn all their mana, just to get anything. You can see they're burning that cheese wheel and running away is going to make it really hard. But at this point here is Urgot should really be pressuring every single one of this farm, especially once you ding 6, but you can still do it right now. They're a little scared of this Nocturne, but even then, I think that should be a time for you roaming into the enemy topside jungle there, dropping your pink ward maybe around blue buff. Oh no, I'm gonna lose it. Yeah, but you now know where Nocturne is. So that's what I'm looking for, at least from like the next step on here, but still really good push from X-Ray and lots of feigning on this bot king. Nocturne really wants.
I think Gix just wants to get somebody a little bit more ahead. And they are still tied 1-1. But I think, like we've been talking about, they want Goblin to be able to get a lead and just kind of hyper carry and scale throughout the game, being that one like true player that everyone really has to kind of fight around and be able to keep them safe.
And it's pretty hard to gank a Sivir too. Sivir Nautilus is so hard to really push off, but it would probably require a good time roam from Cisco on this Ahri as well, and they've honestly been kind of struggling to get priority there. They do have this Malignance. There we go. I remembered it this time. Malignance finished up on this Ahri, so that ultimate really needs to start getting cycled. You gotta start burning something, because otherwise Nick is here is acting probably really well on this Spy guy here. Using a smite to get out of this fight.
It's gonna go over to Blob here, but the really good spell shield there from Gix as the charm lands on Amicus, and the ultimate from Loki Poco doesn't hit the Super Mega Death Rocket, also going wide. I really thought Loki Poco was gonna be able to lock him down there, but I think it had to have been like a frame perfect flash.
It was a frame perfect flash right there. He flashed. He was disappear because it's a blink. Blinks you disappear for, so he blinked during the ult's actual like landing animations. That's really good. Maybe a little unintentional, but still really cool to see there by Nikas. And a good flash burn. And they only used the Xin Zhao ultimates. They've still got a lot of tools left to make this contest work. And that should be all 3 grubs for them as well with Goblin top.
Well, like you're saying, every ultimate for the Chill Guys is down except Seraphine ult, which does hit, but Flash going to be used here. And the cage just keeping everyone on the side of Chill Guys away for the time being. Adam getting really low here as they try to finish off the grubs. That's going to be a hook, but Adam is going to have to sacrifice himself. But Gix is going to pick up one. Smite out, that's him. Finn's going to have to flash away. But does he have the speed for it? The cage is going to play a huge role here, and a flash charm here from Cisco as they are going to pick up the feat of warfare.
That's a huge fight, a huge continuation on that. They lost the grubs, but they found that little extra advantage for that Jinx. More gold to the Jinx, more gold to the Nocturne is really important. Even flashing forward, Goblin was so hungry for that kill. And they're catching more farm here in top lane. They shut down this Vigar, who's starting to be a little bit of thorn in their side of trying to snowball here, but with that play, they're going to be missing some CDs for this next fight. Adam did lose that flash really crucially, lost a lot of HP at the start of there, kind of contesting no man's land, no board really out for them to contest over, so kind of just an unforced error from them here is costing them a lot of extra space and breathing room, and they're not... Are they death pushing down there?
It kind of looks like a Nocturne's there.
I respect it.
Zhao's there. That's a nice hook from Adam. There's not going to be much Goblin can really do here. Sim's going to take a few tower shots, but he is A-okay.
Beautiful. Good read there. From Adam, it looked like leading the charge there. Directed the jungler exactly where you need to be. Find the hook, find the 80 carry just before, but hold on, the lights are off.
The lights are off here, and Gix just sticking here as the berry is going to be burned, but it's going to be too late. There's going to be a flash from Blob, but I think Gix should go down here. Just too much health, too much HP. Is Seeker trying to offer some assistance, but Blob is going to pick up the kill here. And Cisco taking down X-Ray there in the top, helping out Loco Poco.
I like that roam from Cisco. It's a really heads-up play. 80 carry died. That's their jungler. We know they're contesting Dragon. We know they don't want to move from this. I gotta find something while this Urgot's pushing down my Malphite's throat. It's such an easy way to gank assist here. And you've already got one. Oh my.
Maybe a little bit too early, but a great attempt there from Goblin trying to steal away the Dragon. Poco caught under tower here. Not really getting anything as of right now. Loki Poco just putting on the moves, putting on the I can't think of the word for it, but dodging those abilities really well.
The fancy beat.
Yeah, the fancy feet.
Were you looking for the happy feet again?
Yeah, I was.
You did have a
I
little,
forgot it
happy feet.
again.
Some dancing going
Combo
on
combo,
there.
happy feet.
Happy feet. They had that in bot lane there. As we take a little bit of a check in on that gold, that is a very, very scary Urgot. Cisco was able to get a really well timed roam there, but he's still so far ahead. 1,200 gold on this Urgot. Has more gold than this Jinx. The Sivers at 6,000 with that farm lead, with that kill as well. And even though with that shutdown on Xin Zhao, they're still down 200 on this Nocturne. Both have their items. They're about equal combat power. Right now, the Herald is spawning. Everyone's here top lane. The fight's
Good
happening.
engage here is there's going to be a cage put in the middle. This Goblin is not going to get out. A good hook here from Adam, so you're going to have to flash away. But a lot of, like, this is what I was talking about. Really good lockdown here from I'm blanking again. Possum Posse. You just get one hook, and the rest just follows up. Like, Urgot's not even there, and that's just a parrot there from Goblin.
Yeah, they're taking this fight early. They're using the idea that as long as we want the fight and we're ready to take it as a group, it's the correct fight. Even if, like, oh, the odds are stacked against you, you're missing your flash, you're a Sivir, you're not supposed to fight early. As long as you're taking the fight, you're already one step ahead of your enemy there. They found Goblin there, a little sleep at the wheel in mid lane. Adam's been really, really accurate with their hooks so far. That's getting them a lot of access to this Herald, and Goblin's seeding it with their position top lane as well.
And I was gonna say before that fight, I mean, Possum Posse were down 2 kills, but they still had the gold lead and getting that back.
Jinx
Another
rocket already
Super
gone.
Mega Death Rocket just going wide, but there's still a lot of HP left on Shelly here. The lights go off immediately, going on to Blob as he's going to have to ult here, but trying to find Cisco, and he does find one as the rest of the cavalry are gonna show up here. As there's gonna be a ult here from Nikus as they take the Herald, and they should take the rest of the lives of Chill Guys here as Jinx falls and the ultimate from Urgot just to take one for himself.
just take a little bit of a snack there as Vigar and Urgot trading places with their TPs. A beautiful TP from X-Ray there, helping that cleanup. Possum Posse continuing to use that idea. We want this fight. Blobfish looked a little cornered and honestly used that to their advantage. They corralled everyone into this one spot. Loki Poco was not able to get out of that Malfighter. That's their big team fight ultimate alongside that Super Mega Death Rocket from Jinx. If you can't get the Jinx reset, if you can't get the CC to guarantee damage, it's so hard to function with this team. You need to be able to get some amount of poke or some amount of pick off. And if you can't do that, you need to have everything. And they burned it all. That Sivir is so much stronger right now. That Urgot got more gold. Vigar is now able to make up for those 2 deaths in lane now. And this Xin Zhao's also claimed it. Their gold lead. This is a very, very hard team to deal with.
Yeah, and I feel like with this Malphite being so far behind, he only has boots right now and a Balmies and a Chain Vest. There's not a lot of frontlining he can do. Right now, he is just the CC machine whenever it comes up. But there's got to be a different angle that Chill Guys can take here to kind of get them back into this game. It's not a super gold deficit at the moment, but if they can't find an angle or find a road here to get back into this game, it's going to be a long game here.
Yes,
a flash
sir.
hook here from Adam. He hits it with the ultimate. Goblin, sitting on HP, does get the redemption off there as the lights turn off. Giggs trying to go in as a charm from the Seraphine. Adam just tanking all of this damage as the rest of the team comes in. Blob getting the ultimate off. Goblin having to flash away. Gets on a sliver of HP. Super Mega Death Rocket gonna pick up one onto Adam, but Nikus is here making a kill onto Goblin. Oh, might have been a little bit overkill, but he's gonna pick up a double kill here. And that's gonna be another tower and, I mean, possibly an inhibitor. I mean, Ari is the only one left to defend here, but they are going to be pinging that dragon as this is coming up here in just a few seconds.
Very disciplined from Possum Posse. There's something I got taught very, very quickly when I was playing, when I started learning how to play like competitive support. the first thing you're taught, first rule, just start a fight. If you're on Nautilus, just hit your hook. If you want to fight there, just fight. Adam was so ready to fight there. Burned the flash, burned all their CC just to start that fight on Goblin. They baited out that redemption really early on in that fight. That's a pretty big X factor for this Chill Guys, like front to back. You want to get some sort of sustain down to play with more HP. They lose that so early. They lose that Seraphine ult, which is one of their big team fight ultimates. Loki Poco not there to provide as much CC as possible. Paranoia, not enough damage to finish off this really tanky Nautilus now. With that Celestial Opposition finish, with those upgraded plated steel caps, thanks to the feat claim that they were able to pick up earlier, it's so hard for them to deal with this. And now with this Rune, this is Ruinous, right? I hope you know, because I don't remember the names.
I believe it is Ruinous, if that's what it's spawning.
It's the res one. It's the one that gives you the
one,
revive.
as I like to call it.
Get you the free fight that you want to take, and they've got so much control over the space. Seekers having to burn wards just to even enter their own jungle, and they're electing to give it up. It's manageable if you don't want to fight for the next 2 minutes, and with no objective timer either. Goblin actually electing to take that, using that cleanse. Not
Not gonna be able to get much off of Goblin here. It's actually gonna back off just for the time being, but they are going to pick up the Otacon here. And Alpha gonna go in and hit the ultimate here, and this is what they're looking for, getting the withdrawal off. You know, not as big as you'd like to see, but you know, it is something. As the rest of the team is come back here.
right. This back position could be really dangerous here. You can see the thing they're going onto them right now. Vigar trying to find it. Isn't able to find anything. Poor boy. Thim, though, on this push here. I didn't mean cleanse. I meant the excite from Jinx there. I couldn't quite remember the word. There's a TP flank on Thim here. They do have the Sivir ult. They do have the flash, but you don't really want to lose those right now. And Alphite doesn't have an ult.
Does use the ult here. Alpha is not going to play anything from it. Does, yeah, the ultimate being now not going to be out there. A good ult here, but a good ultimate there from Seeker to stop them from just running at them. As Nikus and Adam are really scary on their own. Like, yes, it's a Nautilus and Vigar, but Vigar is stacked super well and one good charm, or one good hook from Adam, and that's going to be half your health bar, maybe even more.
That's your HP bar and half of whoever's behind you. Your HP bar is gone with that Vigar ultimate, and whoever's behind you is eating that other part of the queue, and he gets 2 more, is it 2 more or 4 more AP or something like that on top of those queues. Oh my god. Fighting is just so hard to deal with this Vigar. They've got the full stack row, they've got the death cap, the Sivir's got that IE finished up there. This Urgot's hard to move in lane. You can't burst him anymore with Sterix, especially if you're trying to jump him with the multiple people. So it's just hard to really manage here as Chill Guys. Your eyes are really on this Jinx to finish up that next item, which should be a Runon's Hurricane there. Once that's finished up, it's looking a lot brighter for them. But right now it's more turtling.
I don't think they make it, especially with the Otacon surging up and X-Ray and X-Ray and them just being able to.
Oh, I respect
Aura flash. That's exactly what that was just an aura flash.
You know those ARAM aura edits. That's what those are. Cisco.
Good charm here from Cisco. It's a flash. It's gonna have to lock. Will live. Super Mega Death Rocket gonna pick up, making Nikus withdrawal here. As the rest of Posse going to have to scurry away for the time being.
200 gold for a beautiful snipe there for Goblin. Gets that revive. Gets that. Just trying to time it. It seemed. It's still worth it. You still get the 200 gold. You still force the withdraw. Vigar's off map now. They don't have these revives now for the dragon. That's kind of the one thing you want to do with this Otacon, with the run it down Otacon, is you want to try and time it to these objectives. You get the Otacon maybe like a minute before an objective spawns, then you can take a fight right away after, or you get it like a minute 30 or 2 minutes before. Take the fight, burn the revives, and just not get punished, and then go for the objective. When they take it so early like this gives you a little bit of breathing room, because now all they get is a little extra gold for kills, and they're already up 600 gold, or 6,000 gold. 80 gold is just a drop in a bucket at that point, but I'm smelling a death bush here. Possies really, really like those often. They've got a good comp for it, but this could be a good cross map here with Gix pinging up towards that Baron.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I feel like they can't really fight a Baron. I think they're just trying to see if they're gonna go there and try to catch them off guard by any chance they can. But this is like kind of what I mean, like these big just ball of death fights that they have. They have so much like HP to just chunk through. You have the Xin Zhao healing, you have the Urgot being menace, you have the Nautilus being able to take a big chunk of that while also CCing the carry. They are gonna pick up their sole point here, just one more. But there's like so many swim angles that Shoguns have to find here to be able to get back.
That's so much on that Sivir right now. She is
Sivir with
so
11,000.
So rich. That's a lot of gold to deal with, especially when we take a look back at those items there. That IE puts in a lot of work. That's definitely that mortal reminder in that inventory with that 1500 as well. So 3 items Sivir at 26, 27 minutes whenever they get that reset off is going to be really, really hard to deal with. The only real thing you have is thanks to that Aura Flash from Nautilus. That's your window. Everyone else has got all their sums, they've got the abilities. There isn't really a reason to fight now other than just like a random T1 Baron start. So at this point here, it's just waiting and farming, and if you can't get any real advantage or pick off that, it always benefits the team in the league just to farm.
I mean, I was gonna say you can't even like try to farm to get stronger because this Vigar is gonna out farm you and get even more damage than he already has. Not even talking about them on the Sivir just being the richest person in the lobby.
It is pretty rough. They're gonna check that Baron with the rocket. That kind of gives you the green light to go for it. You've got about this 40-second window or so when Jinx doesn't have this ultimate to go for something. It's so small, it's not real. That's like a big timer at like.
They are
40
pinging
minutes.
it though, so they are going for it here. They're gonna have they have no vision to see that they're starting
They got
this
nothing.
here for.
They don't have a
Possum
rocket to
Posse.
check it either.
They don't have the rocket to check it anymore. And you were completely right. That window is right here, and they have no idea.
These things they got is, oh, they might be in our blue buff. Yeah, no, that's Baron, brother.
3 Baron. That's just gonna give Sivir and Urgot just the ability to split push so much more effectively.
Yeah, they're just setting up into a 1-3-1 here. This is the way to counter it though. Paranoia
Viper's
down.
going off here. Viper's going on to Seeker here, but Alpha Alt gonna pick up a kill onto Adam. Gix is gonna get one. Chasing down Sin, but they don't really need Govern right now. I think it's just gonna be caught out. Blob trying to do all he can. The TP from an X-Ray might be able to turn the tides here. Getting a kill onto Seeker. Gonna pick up one more. Has the Sterex finally popping, missing the ult just barely onto Goblin. As Cisco wants a little bit more, and he will get it. Picking up one more. That's a big shutdown there for Cisco. Does that fight going in the way of Chill Guys here? As that was a good engage as they finally got something back after this game of just kind of being beaten down for the last 10, I would say like 10 minutes.
It's so hard to counter 1-3-1 when you don't have options to engage. Great news, you have a Malphite. You can fight whenever you want to, and that's one of the best ways to do it. If you're clumped in the ball, oh, we can't really match this Vigar and this Urgot. Fight them then, fight the 3, and they perfectly pull on there. They find their 4, they find an engage. A good dodge from Adam there on that Seraphine ult, but still so much follow-up with Loki Poco on this Malphite finding the engage. Paranoia down, Cisco was a beautiful charms, and Goblin with a great rocket there, putting a lot of damage and allowing Cisco to claim that bounty as well. So a very, very strong Ari with that Event Horizon finish as well. So caught out here.
Skip to slow onto Adam, not going to be able to find the hook angle, and not going to go any further to possibly just run to his death. As they're going to look to hover around this dragon here to finally get Soul. Just want to take the space. Right? I want to get the scuttle, I assume. Yep, good Malphite ult again here, but Blob has so much HP. A good charm there from Cisco. The lights go off. Another charm here. The Paranoia going. He's just going to the back line. Goblin gonna pick up one on a Blob, another one getting a shutdown onto that Sivir finally. But this is where the cracks are starting to show. They have their team fight potential. They have the CC locking down. You have locally Coco going in, and then you just have Cisco. As these gold swings are going to get a lot closer now, as we have um, Goblin here with 12k, only 1,000 gold down here, and the rest of the team coming back up very nicely, except for locally Coco. He's still down a little bit, but that's okay.
It's a Malphite. He pressed his button. He found the engage perfectly there. Giggs might be a little bit caught out.
Gonna just walk. I like to walk into
Yeah.
the stun there.
just give him the freeze tag. He might need it, but that was a huge Seraphine ult from Seeker there. And Giggs on the good follow-up on the Paranoia, allowing that range to extend. Them not expecting it all. You can barely see it when it's at that range too. That's gonna stop the soul from Possum Posse. That's another 5 minutes where they don't have the soul, and that's another dragon towards Chill Guy's soul as well. But their team fights coming online. They're really playing like a dark horse here. They've scaled, they've got online. The Jinx has got 3 items. The Ahri's got 3 items. This Nocturne is finding the dives they want. Seraphine is finding these ults. And it's so hard for Possum Posse to really do anything because they're just not grouping to respond to those fights, because their idea is we need a 1-3-1 or 4-1 here. They're electing to the 4-1 right now, and just trying to kind of macro, because maybe either they're deciding, oh, we don't win fights, or they're just not committing hard enough. Who's to say?
They
Oh,
do
no.
find something here. The teleport is not going to be your friend here. Phoenix is going to fall. Does turn off the lights for his team, but another good Malphite Flash is going to use the Liquid Poke a little bit too far in. A good charm from the Seraphine. His X-Ray just going to walk them down, and that's going to be a double kill there for Nikus, and a triple there as Cisco trying to get a semblance back, but Adam going to live on the sliver of HP. Electing to go under tower. Good ultimate here. If X-Ray can get the damage off, but is going to be charmed under tower. Really wants this pullback, but the Serix Gauge is going to pop here.
I feel like I jinxed it. I'm not gonna lie.
Caster's Curse.
Caster cursed. Giggs, they're taking the tower. I like the flash from Adam.
It's a good flash, but he is going to give Cisco the kill, but I don't think it matters at this point. Everything is just being shredded, and Cisco does not have a semblance of anything left, and that is going to be game 1 over to Possum Posse here.
That is all of game 1 there. It looked so good, which honestly, that's promise for later on in the series. We saw how Possum Posse was able to take control of that early game there, but there was flashes of something greater from Chill Guys. It really looked like they had a lot of control over those team fights, and just a silly little TP accident and a great call from Possum Posse there to go for the end, to force it as hard as they could, and just make that one little bit of slip turn into a massive mistake there. And good on GG to Possum Posse for that game 1. This is a best of 5 though, so we get to see a lot more.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think both teams did a really good job at finding the fault in the other team's play at the time and being able to build back upon it. Especially with Possum Posse when they kind of had the Otacon, didn't have it for drag, and then they kind of flipped it to be able to kind of get their gold back. And the gold was really close there at the end, but one bad fight kind of just spelled the end of the game.
it, it's rough when those happen. Those always feel so terrible, right?
Mhm.
Because I can 100% imagine they're sitting there like, I just didn't take teleport. And like hindsight, Henry will always say, you don't take teleports when it's like 30, when it's after 30 minutes. But like it just happens from time to time. It's okay.
Mhm.
Um, they looked so in control of that late game that I'm not worried at all
Mhm.
for like what Chill Guys has in store there. But that early game was so good from Possum Posse.
Yeah, I think they both showed really good strengths that they had in this game, especially with Goblin being able to kind of get his stride there at the end as well. So being able to find that stride, but just kind of getting choked out there at the end. Um, Having a really good engage there at the end. You know, the Malphite finding the ultimates, being able to kind of get back into the game when he um, got that
Oh,
tank here, as we are going to jump here right into game number 2 draft.
yeah, no breaks for us, which is perfectly fine as these teams are so ready to get into it. And while we have a little bit of time here, we can actually think about like, is there anything really to change from what these teams went for? I was pretty happy with both these drafts, to be honest. They they had a great idea. They both
Mhm.
executed on it really well, and it wasn't necessarily like a draft issue, other than maybe like a little bit of some early game leeway with that Malphite into Urgot matchup.
Yeah, I think both these drafts are really good, but maybe they just want to throw just a wrench in it and maybe change up something that they think will work better. Um, but I think they could honestly just run it back again, and it's just going to be an execution issue of whoever comes out on top.
Yeah, for sure. We are waiting on a slight delay for this draft, but of course we have a lot to go over with that last game.
Hmm.
Specifically, like one thing I do want to talk about um, is specifically that bot matchup there. Um, do you think the Possum Posse should elect for a more aggressive AD carry, or did you like that Sivir?
No, I think the Civer works fine, especially just being able to pilot it so well, and just have so much gold to use and spend. Um, and just kind of walk over Jinx for the time being that they had. Um, and I think it worked out really well. I don't think you really need to change up anything unless you're just looking for a different angle um, to pick up um, a game again.
Hmm. So no change even for, because like to me, I'm still thinking if you have a support as aggressive as Adam, I was
Hmm.
so shocked with how much they were flashing forward, flashing forward or flashing in general, to
Hmm.
just make something happen. To me, that sings that, hey, if we run the Callista here, because they're not banning it, if we run the Callista here, especially when we're on blue side,
Hmm.
with Possum Posse winning the game, that pushes side selection over to Chill Guys, who elected to red side at this
Hmm.
point. Your blue side picks, like if Fury's still locked up in bans, that's Callista, that's Corki, that's Gwen, that's some of these like
Tristana.
super aggressive Tristana as well. These super aggressive AD carries, and to me, like that's green light just to go.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. And I think these teams just like having the potential of counter and being able to do the trickery on a third pick. But there's like it just looks so they both look like it's game one. You're gonna have a little bit of nerves. You're gonna have a little bit of you got to settle in. But near the end of that game, they both these teams just looked locked. Like they just saw red in their eyes, and they were like fighting so hard to get a win on this game one.
Mhm. Yeah, they're fighting hard, and you mentioned that trickery on that third pick for red side. To
Hmm.
me, what that tells me is that's like big on the Mbessa and the Gnar, that
Hmm.
that Loki Poco likes to play on their own time a lot, and that Gnar was banned last game. So as we get straight into this draft here, but I'm sniffing I'm sniffing something really aggressive coming from there. You spend a whole 30 minutes getting banged up by an Urgot into as Malphite into Urgot.
Hmm.
You want to dish it back out, and Gnar is going to do that so well. So that's my one big draft read here is Chill Guys Gnar on 3.
Yeah, I don't hate it. Honestly, Nara's in a really good spot right now. We see in pro play that he's a monster. Like he's just so strong. As we do have the same bands here. We get the Diana, the Poppy, the Hover on the Fury, and an Orn on these bands. But I think since if this Neferi is going to be locked up, you go for that extra ADC prio.
Yeah, Nefiri is so hard for literally any champion in the game to deal with. As the
Hmm.
one big change there is going to be that Xin Zhao being taken, and looks like I did my research wrong, as I thought some other stuff would be in contention, but that Ari getting locked up, that must be the big contested pick for these teams this series.
Yeah, I mean she's such a good laner, good roamer. There's nothing really she can't do. Like obviously she can't one combo you. Is like the main thing. She can't just burst you completely, but she can burst you down to like 25% HP, and her team can do the rest for you.
Yeah, for sure. Unless you get a big advantage, another big
Wow.
change there. Chill guys going for that Lulu, so must just be running back. Maybe a Lulu Jinx,
Mhm.
maybe Kog'Maw, maybe Lulu Cog, maybe Lulu Twitch as well. Some really big hyper carries still on the table for Chill Guys.
Yeah, I do like how aggressive they are for their bot matchup, trying to get um Goblin on, like we've been talking about, trying to get Goblin on something he can carry with something that he can do well on. So I mean, Lulu definitely does set that up as they do elect to take the Sivir. But yeah, especially with that polymorph, it's gonna do a lot of work if they can get in on the right target.
Yeah, that Polly's gonna put a pretty big stop to anything that Adam really
Mm,
wants to do. And yeah, I'd be making that face too. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of what Smolder's become. Yes, he is this big late game scaling monster, but to be honest, one of his best builds right now is the lethality, is like
mhm,
hubris into other into like what Manamune, I think.
mhm.
So we have to see whether or not if um Thyme is
Like
gonna
it's
elect to run that. I don't know. I don't.
Smolder Sona, but I
This is
just
like snoozer bot lane, bro.
I just don't like. I didn't like Smolder when he came out, just because he was just this big Vigar in the bot lane.
Mhm.
And like, yes, he gets really strong, but I just don't. It just takes so long for him to get fully online with that execute, with the Q stacking, and it feels like they're just going to play the same game, just with Smolder this time, and try to wait for that scaling and then just bulldoze the rest of the way through.
But to me, that scaling was really enabled by the Sivir and Nautilus. They were
Mhm.
able to get that scaling off because they had a really definitive team fight engaged bot. Hallelujah, I was right. Holy, I might
The Gnar 3.
the Gnar on 3 right there, and I can honestly don't even ban the Urgot here. Ban like Gragas
Mhm.
was a big pick for X-Ray in their, at least like from what I was looking into their history, playing on some solo queue, and that's a really hard pick for Nar to deal with. But back to this Smolder Soda, I feel like putting one of your big go buttons, because now your go button is Nikus on the Ari, which did a great job on the
Mhm.
Vigar, so should have a lot of options here to play. But
Mhm.
you're losing one big jungle option there. There goes Wukong, probably Nocturne also going to go again from Chill Guys. And Fiddlesticks is actually a big kind of pocket pick for Gix here, at least from what I knew. So
Mhm.
that's so hard for this Smolder to deal with. And this Ari and the Sona, you don't have anything. You can't solo ward anymore. Can't run around because you're a big tanky boy. So can't sniff out the Fiddlesticks. So a good ban there.
Right. Yeah, and I feel like the Wukong is nice, which also tells me, as well as Jarvan, there's gonna be a lot of AD, especially they want, Goblin to have the best time possible, and just with Wukong stacking armor,
Mhm.
and just kind of running at Goblin if they so choose, as they do ban out the Cinder here, which is another contested pick here. I mean, but it's so hard when you have a Wukong on the enemy team and you are 3 AD, 4 AD, and he just kind of runs in, spins, and doesn't take any damage.
He he does that a lot. He's
Mhm.
definitely hard to deal with. You can just pick like a true tank in the jungle here. Don't know if that's quite the specialty of what the Possum Posse wants to do, especially with this Ari. You can
Mhm.
definitely still run the run that there's Viego. I was gonna say Vi, but Viego works perfectly fine here as well. You need something somewhere on the map needs to be aggressive,
Mhm.
and jungle top is definitely an option for them. X-ray, Blob, and Nickers were up to it really, really early around those early grubs. So something to contest there. And another pocket
Oh,
pick coming out here as the Pantheon.
it's gonna be the
Uh,
Pantheon over the Viego, which I don't mind. I think they both serve somewhat of a similar purpose. Like you have the Pantheon ult um range, but then you also have the CC. You have the on hit from his W, which is really nice. But I think it'll be really really strong.
mhm. It'll be really strong. It's a really good ganks there as Cho'Gath coming through. Maybe not quite what I was expecting to deal
Mhm.
with Gnar, as generally when you're playing against champions with 3 hit passes with percent HP damage, going tanks is not great, but Cho'Gath does have some tools to deal with it. Has the knockup, has the silence, has the great enabler of
We
Nocturne
get the,
comes
the
through.
God combo.
We
The
get the
combo that
God
you think
combo.
of.
Perfect.
But
Gonna be a lot of engage for chill guys here, and a lot of hard champions to get through to get access to the Sivir, and not really a whole lot from the Possum Posse to get there. To be honest, you've got the Pantheon diving, but he's on his own. Ari's not tanky enough to assist him. Cho'Gath is tanky, but doesn't dive too well unless you go that move speed one, and then he's not tanky, so a little bit more of a confusing draft. Very solo queue esque from Possum Posse, so that just screams we need a lead early.
I don't mind it because they still do have the tankiness that they did last game. But on the side of Chill Guys as well, they also don't have a lot of tankiness. They have a lot of burst. Like they have Gnar going in there, and then the rest of everybody else, you have Gix following up. You have the orb delivery service, as I call it, onto the Nocturne to get in a big team fight. Um, but I mean, both these teams look like very like skirmishy oriented comms, with like Ari with like Pantheon being able to do a good chunk of damage with his full combo. But
Mhm.
other than that, I think this will still be a really highly contested game. Very few mistakes early, and I think since they've gotten over that game one um, nerves, I think it'll be a lot more of a slower paced game just to try to minimize mistakes.
Yeah, slower pace, especially on that bot side, 100%. Especially, Lulu Sivir, not the most active of lanes. Going to be a lot of poke, a lot of harass onto the Smolder and Sona, and just kind of
Mhm.
trading HP for no kill threat. But I I like Gnar. I like the ball delivery service, and that really makes it hard for me to argue against chill guys again here.
Mhm.
And especially like to me, all I see from Possum Posse is is Ari and Pantheon going to get fed? If not, it's so you gotta wait what 25 minutes because Smolder's not gonna have access to stacks. You
Probably even
can't
like
stack off
30
Lulu Sivir.
minutes.
Yeah, it's gonna be like 25, 30 minutes to get this like full combo, full items that you need to really be this threat. So I think that's too
Mhm.
long. I think Chill Guys has got this.
Yeah. Well, that being said, we are going to hop into a quick break here as we will see you guys on the Rift in just a moment for game number 2.
Do we fight to hold our heads up high and beat the drum to what we love? Risk the follow, we have felt it all come crashing down from far above. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies. The champions of the world that we defy. A solo ride of the few who rise up high, and we all fight at the last light.
Welcome back, everybody, to Game 2 of the Summit Premier League Season 6 Grand Finals. As I take a quick breath while watching these teams just kind of fan out right now for the 5-point. No Nautilus, so no driving force really on an invade. So just at least us in the booth here, we're kind of expecting a really, really slow game, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, especially from the Smolder with him, he wants to scale like as quickly as possible, but it's as quickly as possible. It's like 30 minutes, so definitely gonna be leaning on his teammates to assist him to get a little bit stronger as time goes on. As there is gonna be some vision there for the Raptors for Possum Posse, but I mean, yeah, like this draft is very all over the place, especially just matchup wise. I feel like everyone's just not gonna have a great time for the side of Possum Posse until they can hit their items, but it's gonna be a long ruling game if they start to get behind. I'm not in the greatest position as he is gonna get chunked out here.
Just getting a little chunked out. Staying in the bush a little too long. Maybe you don't really want to hide there unless your support's standing with you. The one real big advantage that the Chill Guys has with this Lulu is how aggressive you can get with Lulu. As having more damage than an ED carry there with Pixie. And a lot of work as they're already forced to burn their pot. Forcing Adam to start that heal on the solo queue is going to be pretty hard to really trade back any of this poke from Seeker and Goblin. So they're already finding some way to push an advantage.
Yeah, and I feel like this is just, it comes with the draft. It's going to be hard for any players to do anything without jungle help. Pantheon's not going to have the fastest laners to help his laners, so it's gonna be a long laning phase for Possum Posse.
Yes.
Let's get the electrocute off, but you're not gonna win a trade against Orianna.
Especially not
Autoing. the autos getting stronger every time is just going to chunk you out, even if you're hitting the electrocute. Let's get the level advantage. We're just gonna electric run at this go, but Bob is there. And that could have been really scary for Nikus if Blob wasn't there, because I think Cisco had all green lights to just run down with the level advantage.
Yeah, that would have been really, really scary for Nikus there, and also a big thing that slowed down Blobfish's clear. They had quite a for this matchup, for this jungle matchup, they had quite a substantial clear advantage here. They were almost able to
Goblin just doing so much damage, even through the heal from Adam Sona, but I think this is what Chill Guys are looking for originally, something that they can have an advantage on. I mean, Possum Posse kind of put themselves in this position as Sim getting super low, Seeker trying to pick up the kill, the bear's gonna be used, which is gonna be really good for Chill Guys here. And like I said, the Smolder is just gonna have such a bad time as this ginormous wave crashing in. Goblin maybe gonna try to pick up the kill, and he will get first blood pretty easily here. I don't think Adam's not gonna be able to do much here. They are just gonna walk away.
That's massive. That's a kill for Sivir. That's 10 farm. That's another wave drop from the Smolder, who's already, we're predicting, what, 25 minute plus on 225 plus items for them. Loco Poco here in top lane also had a pretty big farm. Chill Guys look so focused. They just, with us going immediately into the next game after just waiting out that delay, they look just as ready as they were from the previous game, and so they're so focused there. Gix was able to get farm advantage too. They were able to fully clear everything. They did end up, both junglers traded the Scuttle Crab, so no big advantage there other than a slight farm advantage for Nocturne. But one big thing, oh, he is backing. Okay, I was gonna say neither of these junglers are backing. Gix is taking their back right now. And that's going to put them actually quite a big advantage with this dragon spawning up. Pantheon clearing down bot lane. Isn't going to have a Tiamat compared to Nocturne. And now Nocturne now forcing Pantheon to reset. So some unintended mind games from these junglers right now. Both of them just kind of clearing around, not able to gank quite yet. But I would have liked to see something from Blobfish.
Yeah, I think with Nocturne, this draft works out really well for Gix, not having to worry about his lanes, worry about he just has to have a one-track mind and just get to level 6, and then you can start going crazy on the ganks. But with all these laners being able to push and be ahead, Gix is just having a great old time here. Maybe a little bit of a fight here, a flash charm, and the CC there from Blobfish gonna pick up a kill onto Cisco. And even with the harassment that Cisco has been doing, a really good ult here from Loki Poco. That is a second tower shot, getting so low, but Loki Poco not gonna be able to find the damage as of right now. Coming out of Meganar, might be able to find it in the normal form, but missing the boomerang. Getting both the bot laners so low, but another somewhat big fight is going to break out here. Seeker is kind of at the mercy of Blobfish right now. As Seeker is going to fall here, as the Spirit Rush is going to come out as well. Just going to have to run away for the time being.
That was actually a really creative lane swap here done by Possum Posse. They really genuinely want to this first set of grubs, and you need to more bodies. They rotate up there. Now, Loki Poco got so close to getting the kill. I wonder if they flashed right as the smaller flash, and they followed it up, they probably could have gotten a kill coming out of Mega with that bonus movement speed, but still being able to conserve with it, holding onto that flash because they're going to have it for this next ultimate, and they still end up getting one of those grubs. So Blobfish got kills, Nickus got kills, and hey, those are the two people that really are the driving force behind early game. The solo queue champions getting gold is always really, really scary.
Yeah, and I mean, it just gives Smolder some more breather and gives them a little bit more time to scale. Just being able to put pressure on those opposite sides. But it's gonna be an interesting game here, especially with Possum Posse getting that early kill advantage. Just one more until Feudal Warfare. So you guys have to really be careful with the fights they take. Goblin running past X-Ray.
Are they proxying with AD carry? Oh my god.
We might be having a little 3-man proxy over here, so it's going to be something. So we do know what's here. Also coming out for the stun from Blobfish is just so good. It's going to run the barrier, but doesn't have enough elves here, and that's a Feudal Warfare going over to Posse Posse. The lights go off, not able to really do much with it. They're going to elect to go onto X-Ray here. Getting Blob really low, a good knockout here from X-Ray. It's just kind of doing whatever he wants here. Another Spirit Rush gonna come out, pick up another one on the Gix. Is actually gonna get another good upper here. Cisco gonna have the damage. It's a double kill, and it's not gonna be a triple kill. It's X-Ray is gonna say, I want one for myself. Thank you.
Wants a little snack. The Cho'Gath needs a little snack every now and then. A little. Honestly, big brain grand starfall from Blobfish. They're rotating out and they're gonna end up on top of a Pantheon who's got enough damage, or they have to run in and just commit to the fight. They commit to the fight. They're in a losing situation anyway. That's so much gold picked up by this Ahri and this Pantheon, and now Cho'Gath, who's able to even up what is a really bad matchup for them. So big fight there. The solo queue team is solo queuing, and they're up 6-1 right now. They've got that first beat up, and I like that play from Blobfish as well. Just don't think about it. Just flash on top of the Sivir. They're in my range anyway, and it works perfectly well. Nickus is, not in that case. Nickus was a little late to that play, but X-Ray was there for the follow up as well to find a lot of damage. And this is putting Chill Guys into this back foot while they still have a way to scale into this game. I could be a little concerned with this Ahri and Pantheon running riot on these next couple of games.
Yeah, I mean, like we're talking about the Cho'Gath, like he's down, what is that, 30 farm, and he's up in gold. So that swing was really nice, but I'm so afraid of these fights, like especially here. Adam getting this done, having to burn the flash off of Poco. they have the 1-3-1 going on right now, but one catch out from an Ari charm or a Pantheon stun, and it's gonna be over for at least a singular champ. Um, Even if it's in a team fight. So if they can carry over one fight into being able to rotate those spells around to your other teammates, it's gonna be a hard game here for Chill Guys once again.
It's another big turtle fest for them. Technically, they don't have as long to wait as Jinx is. If Jinx is even or behind, you're really big on 3 items. Sivir is pretty much okay getting 1 item plus IE, as long as you're able to auto attack. But it's gonna be pretty hard to auto this game with the Pantheon, with the Ari, with the Sona ult too. Adam, by the way, been huge with some of those ultimates. Picking up that flash from Loki of Poco earlier is giving X-Ray a little bit of breathing room, but still so hard to deal with Gnar in this matchup. As we're starting around this first grubs, the big thing is Gnar doesn't have flash but has TP, so he can get pulled with X-Ray as long as they pull it off first.
It's gonna be a TP, but it's gonna get canceled there by X-Ray, which is so big. As Cho'Gath still has the opportunity to TP whenever he pleases. Why does have that lights going off? He's going in with the orb delivery service. That's close to being 1 gig. Will pick up one onto Adam as Blob is going to get polymorphed. And this is what they were looking for. They keep going. Secret just hanging around inside both of Nikus and Sim as they want to pick up one more, but a good charm. It's going to be a shutdown for the Lulu, unfortunately. But game is game, and they got what they wanted, even without Loki Poco TPing in.
They just at that point they used the TP for space. You can see like how much space they got back just from even channeling that TP alone. Yeah, it got canceled. Yeah, that was their definitive team fight win with that Gnar coming, but they still found that engaged 3-man ball delivery service there from that Orianna. Great follow-up, it's Grand Star call.
Disco not going to be able to do much, as that's just the full combo from Pantheon if you're caught out. I mean, Orianna's such a good split pusher, but when you have a Pantheon on the Rift, I don't know if you're going to be able to do that as effectively as you'd hoped.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really, really hard to do anything. Usually at that point, what you want to do is you want to 1-3-1, force the Pantheon to pick one lane. If they pick one, just commit to the other, even rotate your 3 mid lane up to there. So say Pantheon ulted on Gnar bot lane, rotate everyone up top lane, just push for that tower. A little later on in this game at this point, and just push. Still though, I want to highlight though that Lulu ult 100% sold that team fight. For like that was another knockup on top of the big CC that bought them time, allowed them to not really respond for that fight. It's just hard when the CC's layered. So to me, that's like the big one. Yes, the Nocturne Ori ultimate was huge, but Loki Poco's now caught out.
This is going to be really bad. He does get Mega Gnar, but missing the first stun there. And we're going to get 2 onto Loki Poco. A good ult, but I don't think it's going to be enough for him to get away here. There is a Shurelya's on that Cho'Gath as he is just going to get taken down, and this just might be the Nemesis Cho'Gath build, but in the top lane.
It's the move speed Cho'Gath build works anywhere. It's the best in mid lane, 100%, because you're able to abuse that move speed, move around the map. But it's still a really good Cho'Gath build. You're still AP, still feeling tankier, but mainly you're not able to survive in the face of Sivir as long as you normally are able to. Right, you're going to be eating so much damage from those auto attacks without being able to go play steel caps. So it's really going to be how quickly can the Possum Posse clean up these fights? Are they going to continue to just focus on these big picks here as we can get a little bit of a smaller stack check in there? Is 101 at 14 minutes. Puts him about at that 25-minute mark right now. And with Essence Reaver, it's not going to be the lethality smolder that I mentioned in draft. So more scaling, but not quite as much like big oomph as he's going to have in some of these fights.
Yeah, I mean, like, yes, Cho'Gath are down 4 kills, but they're still farming really well. If anything, they're up 500 gold, to say the least, so they're not out of this, like, at all yet. So they still have a lot of fight left in them. If they can be able to get around the CC, that Possum Posse does have, because they're gonna rally around this dragon here, try to pick something up. Blob kind of on his own for right now, as we have Finn and Adam down on the bot side.
Mars gonna have that TP first, has that flash, has Mega. You can see him sitting in that bush waiting for this. Or he also TP'd your X-Rays here first on this.
Going in first, lights turn off here. Ult comes in, going in. Goblin has to flash over the wall. It's just caught out in 5 of them. It's a TP. It's going to come in from Gnar, but really late. I don't know if they're going to be able to turn this team fight. But they're just going to back off. As the rest of Possum Posse is just so healthy. It didn't really phase them much.
It looked like, I don't know why, I forgot that the the Gnar and Nocturne are on the same team. So maybe a little, curious as to why they didn't TP clear on that. Maybe they just weren't expecting to get engaged on as quickly as they were, but you really have to be so ready for a fight. Oh my, huge luck there for them to be able to 100% get out of there with those Hex Gates. That's going to be a Hex Soul on the map once again, just like last game. Pretty big soul for both of these teams, especially for what looks like the first part of their run once again.
Shelly being down here, another objective here to fight for. No one really as of yet Nocturne this just across the way, but I don't think they just put as much emphasis on Shelly. I can get to a tower, maybe 2 if you're lucky,
TP
but
behind.
there is a TP behind here for this Ahri. Cisco can be caught way out of position here. Gonna try to get something, but Nicholas is here and ready to roll as the electrocuted. The Q damage gonna come out. Them gonna live here with the assist from Nicholas. That's gonna be another kill over to the side of Possum.
Beautiful flash, just barely caught out. Huge flash from Blobfish there, making sure not to get quite picked off on that return play. Smolder though getting a little bit more gold, gonna finish up that tunneler, getting closer to their item spikes that they really need to succeed. I believe that's Spiritosion next, if I'm not mistaken, on the Smolder. So lot gonna be a pretty pinky Smolder as well. So even when you are diving onto him with this Nocturne and with this Orianna ult, you can probably face tank it there. And another, this is the Chovy Ahri build actually with that Roa and Leon.
Oh, the new Roa build. I was interested to see if we'd see it last game. It's been showing up a lot in Korea, and it works surprisingly well. Just being really tanky, but also still just having the AP damage.
It gives you everything you need, because when you think about what do I need to do as Ahri this game? Well, I need to pick someone. Oh, well, I don't really have like a true tank to frontline behind. Well, I need HP to work with. I need to be able to survive the Ori ult if they dive onto me. This is the perfect build for this game. This is almost like textbook, exactly what you need it for. So I really like this heads up decision from Nikus to go it, alongside the Electro to make sure they still had some sort of contested lane. They're up kills. They're obviously participating in so much there, but they're farming pretty hard as they keep getting kind of the short end of the stick on some of these matchups. As nothing quite up yet, so not. This could be a tower actually.
Just gonna go Mega and be able to just take down the tower. It might be for his life, but I don't know. If he gets out here, it does get a flash, does get the move speed out of Mega Gnar as Australia's. Might be enough for Blob to get up. He does get the stun and gonna take another one down. As I'm really surprised Paul Golden is coming in. Not really the damage they're looking for. That's with the fear. Adam coming in. Nothing gonna come from that. A lot of abilities used, but not a lot of damage coming out as of right now.
That's that HP. That's that Spiritosion second coming there from Smolder. They have so much more HP to work with now in these fights. It's so much harder to kill him alongside that Sona with how much healing it provides. It's tough there. And I'm gonna try and keep a count on it. That's 2 kills that have been enabled now by Shirelia's from X-Ray here. So it's putting in so much work right now, especially on these Narsplit pushers and catching them out with this Pantheon. It's keeping the Pantheon ahead, which means that he's still going to find a lot of value from the pick itself. And top tier 2 falling is getting a lot of space in top lane, getting opened up, and with the the Voracious Otacon, right?
That's
Is it Runus? That's okay. It's the not revive one. It's the one that's actually really good. Is the Otacon that's up there. Yeah, the flowers. The pretty much I think it's like 3/4 of a level for taking it for everyone on the map at least. So it's a lot to work with.
I'm also really happy with how Possum Posse played this game and still being on a disadvantage. Cisco just, again, going to be taken down by this combo of X-Ray and Blob. Nick is also going to join the party here. Actually going to pick up the Chomp. I was thinking maybe Cisco survives there, but then Ari showed up and then it was kind of all downhill from there. But it's not like Cho'Gays aren't getting other points on the map because they are getting a tier 2. Still keeping this gold lead relatively close despite being down so many kills. They do get sniffed out here. Goblin's gonna be the one to be engaged on. Dick's gonna come and save his ADC. A good polymorph here. A good ultimate there from Seeker. The Blob's is taking so much damage. Seeker is gonna fall to him as well as Giggs. Loki Poco also gonna fall, and that's a triple kill there for Thin, just proving us wrong with the Smolder pick here.
He's got the Sheen item, so it's not like he doesn't have damage right now. It's just the stack. We always think of how much damage the score stacks do, which granted they do a ton of damage. They're so hard to deal with, but still, it's not like he doesn't have damage now. He almost caught out.
It's just so hard to push here for Cho'Gays, but their macro is kind of just carrying them through this game in terms of gold, but I just don't think the damage is there.
The damage isn't really there for Cho'Gays right now. They also haven't. I still don't think they've had like a proper 5v5. There's always been someone missing from that bottom fight. Thin was not Thin. Goblin was immediately out of there, gone, running towards the hills. Cisco got caught out beforehand, so there wasn't any way to do this combo. So we're 22 minutes in, and they've done the combo what, twice? I think at this point, 2 or 3 times. And you want to have more than that. You want to be doing like this. It's just so hard to make them with how active this Cho'Gath is.
Mega Nard power kill here, even though it might mean his life. I think luckily Pogo has committed to the fact that he will just be split pushing, taking towers, and going into Mega Nard, but he will get away here this time. But I don't know how much longer that's going to work. A good dodge from Cisco, still getting the electricity proc onto him though.
Is it Wit's End or Terminus that Nar's building? I can't remember. I think both of those items go out.
There it is.
That's Wit's End. Okay, so he didn't buy the MR quite yet. So that's what was confusing me, because double recurve also goes into Terminus. I'm like, is that a Terminus MR? That would be quite interesting with no one really having a lot of resistances. It is going to get a little scary if you start with Goblin.
That is a really good start there. The Goblin going to be able to make it out as the shutdown is going to go over to Cisco. X-Ray going to go starting a bit late, but there's not a lot of survivability here as X-Ray going to eat one, and Blob's going to pick up the other here. The only good pseudo team fight is Blob wanted to look for Secret here. Trying to look for seems like it's just wide of Coco. That's going to be a tier 1 mid finally falling here.
It's tier 1 mid falling.
Here at the gold as well. So much gold on this Pantheon in terms of Nocturne. I mean, that's really the only like, super crazy gold lead. Yeah, he's the only one. We're going to start with Otacon here. Now that
There's no
coming back, but there's going to be 0 contest here. Everyone's trying to race back. It's going to be hard. Doesn't have ult, doesn't have X-ray here for the extra smite to eat. There's just been a lot stronger as well. I think it's going to go in Goblin. Gonna be able to dodge away, but that is gonna be a lot of XP there for Possum Posse.
They claim the Otacon, that's more XP, that's a lot more of what we're looking for the snowball comp, as we were talking about, that Pantheon has that gold advantage, but he's really been this driving force. You can see it's taking 4 people from Chill Guys to get up this push. Oh no, yeah. Oh, he's sniffing it.
Ultimately, we do have the execute. That's going to be considered just taking down and takes the ball swiftly after. Coco trying to get out, running a flash, but I don't think she's going to be able to get away from X-Ray. Is Blob going to chase down Cisco and Seeker? A good blast cone, but will it be enough as Nicholas is going to come up here and try to find Seeker and Cisco out? Judgment here going on to Cisco. Seeker thinks he's going to make it out, but there is an X-Ray waiting for you right there. That is going to be a complete ace here for Possum Posse, picking up every single one, straggling away.
It's all Possum Posse at this point. The solo queue comp that we were doubting. We were doubting them. I doubted them. I didn't vote for them in the guess as well. I was so confident in this like proper comp. The Smolders all stacked up there. You can see 242 at 26 minutes. So at least we got that prediction right. But they have so many tools to start fights. They're so willing to do it as well that it's just hard for this team that needs time to breathe. There's no room for the Sivir to really get any extra farm than they already are. And on top of that fight starter, the charm lands on top of the Sivir ult. You're sprinting to your death now. You're not only just not just like
a
casually
walk.
jaunting.
Yeah,
Just a casual walk towards them while you're slow. Now you're sprinting towards them. That was a really good charm from Nicholas to start off that fight. There's no amount of heal, there's no amount of HP you can give this goblin. No.
Almost caught out again by X-Ray. They're just gonna turn the Spirit Rush here. They're able to shield away, and there's just no lane mage in this fight. They just have to run for their lives. They're gonna be able to get away with the good assistance from Cisco's ball there.
I like this. I like
On
this
the other
ball.
side, we have a Dragon Entangle, though. It is still 2-2. And I'm still just so blown away with Chill Guys being down, what is that, 17 kills? Yeah, like 17 kills, and they still just have a good amount of gold in their pocket. They're not like bleeding out as much. They are hemorrhaging a little bit, but they're still just trying to fight their way back into the game. And it's gonna be most likely a game here for Possum.
They could try this. There's no shockwave from this Ori, so this Paranoia is going to be kind of blind.
Have no vision on it. They're just going straight blind. They're going to be picked up. Go in here. Good ultimate there. Turning off the lights, but the Finn is just too stacked up. Goblin going to die to the execute as well as Seeker. TP going to be able to get away here, but Cisco running away from the giant void being as this Aurelia is gonna prove to be a good itemization as he's slowly but surely catching up here on Cisco. But he's gonna elect this to leave it be for now. The rest of Possum Posse is just running down the base as he just plays with Cisco here in the bot side.
He's just playing around. He's going to get a little bit of that increased regen thanks to this fight, though.
Adam
Never
is
mind.
here, and
Ow.
is just going
That
to...
was so much.
There was a big flank also coming. You had Sin, and you had Nikas also swiftly on their way.
That Ori was dead. There was no getting out of that. The Cho'Gath is faster than you. I didn't expect. I knew he had so much damage. I didn't know it was that much though. That's a crazy amount of damage on this Cho'Gath as well. And since there's no front line, there's no true front line right now with this Gnar still not quite being tanky enough to start these fights. Goblin isn't able to, free hit like we saw from Thim last game, or was it Goblin on the Sivir game? No, it was okay. I have it written down and I forgot. That's crazy.
Goblin gonna try to make a
Is
Euro
X-Ray
break here
caught out?
onto X-Ray. There is the lights turning off as well as a polymorph. They just have to use so much just to get X-Ray. They will end up picking up that Loco Upoko gonna come as well. Goblin will touch down, but on the other end, that's gonna be the inhibitor turret for immediately one player of this Possum Posse team and the inhibitor as well.
They can push to end here. They have enough siege. It's really just Cho'Gath through his TP, so I think they should really push this. Wildfish really digging for something. There's no Gnarl either.
Everything at their disposal here, as well as the ultimate almost taking out locally Poco there. Gonna have to go back to the fountain, but that's gonna be one turret. And most likely swiftly another turret. There's not anything on the side for Cho'Gath that they really have here with their renewed HP bars. So they're gonna take that and say that's enough for us. We're just gonna reset.
A lot more reserved than I would, to be honest. I would be so ready just to push down the enemy team's throats there and just try and find a little bit more of an advantage. You saw how quick that Gnar was falling. Yeah, right. I don't know. It's fine though. It's still safe at this point, especially with how far ahead they are. Really, it's not like you're not gonna really lose a fight randomly at this point. The goal difference is so big. Dragons coming up, so the fight's gonna happen.
Kind of hemorrhaged a lot after that last fight, picking up the 2 innings and the turrets. It's gonna take a really big swing, but they're just gonna go straight in onto X-Ray again, and they're gonna be completely fine with this. Like, yes, you get a pick up on X-Ray. He has 100 gold, but is it gonna be worth it from what the push they're gonna get from it is even then it's. X-Ray is like swiftly almost getting away here, but he will end up falling here. Another shutdown as Lob is just going to end the game here. It's a little bit too overzealous there just to plan to go on to X-Ray, and that's going to be game number 2 going over to Possum Posse. Man.
It was just, they were just in control. There was the little bit of time where it looked like the macro from Chill Guys was able to kind of eke out on that solo queue team. But when you just keep fighting, when you just keep forcing something, when you have all of the tools to really go in, it's so hard to manage. And you have to be able to Chill Guys has to be able to slow down the game. And they were just there responding and losing and responding and losing. And it's not what you need to do, but you still need to contest. You can't give it for free, and there was no other options really for them. So yeah, I don't know. Really, at this point, I'm still eyeing up. They need to play something. I'm gonna die on this hill. They need to play something aggressive bot lane. They need to win bot lane hard.
Yeah, I think that's where the contesting really is. Like, you put Goblin on a really good carry champ, but when they kind of just force the fights when it's not the time for um for them to turn a fight, it's gonna be really hard to get back in. And you can't really put all of that onto a carry from Goblin when you don't have the facilities for it. When they're just running you down, they're just contesting for every objective, and you can't seem to win the fight because Pantheon's really strong early. That CC is really gross for locking down and getting a good pick that can lead into a lot more.
Yeah, we're just looking for a little more. Chill Guys
Mhm.
so close to that next step, 100%. But game 3 will be starting soon. But we're gonna take it to a quick little break.
Mic
here.
on.
Take a breather. We'll be right back.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the draft here for game number 3 between Possum Posse and Chill Guys. Chill Guys gotta step it up, gotta find something that works for them here, or it's gonna be a very swift game here. So they gotta pull out all the stops here for this last draft.
Yeah, there's nothing to hide anymore for sure. You gotta leave it all up here. It's grand finals too. There's nothing after this. It's all or nothing. So we're looking maybe at some pocket picks coming out for sure. Um,
Hmm.
would be exactly what I'd expect. But I mean I said it before going into break. I'm expecting like a really aggressive bot lane from Chill Guys here,
Hmm.
or you know the super like Korean, we're going tank jungle top, enable mid, and just like Lulu Kog'Maw or something like that. That's another option, right? But Chill Guys
Hmm.
banning out the Ornn already is like kind of kneecapping their pathway to that. They have to go something like the Malphite then, and
Hmm.
already that's like not as reliable of a frontliner because you're moving away from your AD carry.
Yeah, I feel like there is an option. Like they're so close to like breaking through there, um, and finding something that works. Like we've seen it through the last few games. They're not completely lost in these games. There's a chance for them to come back and fight, and they're just not finding it. As we have a lot of the same bands that we saw from game one. As we get the Ari finally being taken out here, not to be one, but we do get Talia, which is going to be another really strong mid laner if you can pilot that. uh, I want to call it clunky, but it's character design. So if you can pilot this champ, it can turn into a um really scary champion, especially with that CC.
It is so good at stopping any sort of mobility, any sort of dashes from Chill Guys. You can't pick the Gnar anymore on 3. That's going to be so hard to run. But one way to stop it is to go unstoppable with the Vi. You banned out the Ari, so maybe you're looking at a different enabler. Maybe the Vex, maybe the Nico, maybe
Mhm.
Galio even as just some sort of other form of damage really needs to come out here because Vi early like this is kind of scary.
Yeah, I don't mind banning the R. Like whenever you like watch pro, you go, oh, we get the sisters. But whenever you watch pro, they're always talking about Vi Ari um whenever Vi gets picked, and it's so strong. But there's also other champions that can fill those shoes, as we also get another Sivir here being
Siffer Jinx.
contested. Sivir Jinx once
Oops,
again.
sorry. Yeah.
um but I
Again.
mean, Goblin just has to show up here um for this last game and be able to be the hyperscaler that his champion is, and really run over this game.
I think the big place they need to start first is just not getting picked as often. It seems
Hmm.
like they're pushing to get gold because they're feeling that pressure to carry. It's not like they don't know they need to carry. They obviously know they need to, but they're
Hmm.
just spending so much time trying to get gold that they're missing out on fights. They're getting picked off. They're losing flashes. They're losing barriers. They're losing someone, or they're losing important spells before fights, and it's costing Chill Guys like little inches, and all those inches are adding up. And we saw that especially last game, but Zin's out, and now Syndra getting picked up for both these teams.
I don't mind the Syndra in place of the Ari. Um, you kind of still have that big damage Q ability with that combo, especially with I forget what the pushback is called, but you have that big form of damage that Ari would also give you. So I do like this, and the running back the Zinzao here um for Possum Posse is really nice. I think this is just a staple for what we've seen so far and how much they like this champ.
Yeah, Syndra also has just a lot of options, really. She
Hmm.
works with almost anything. She can work with dive, she can work an anti-dive very, very well, and has that long range scatter the weak that can follow up on any real Vi engage. As the Cho'Gath, little bit of a target ban coming out here from Chill Guys as Possum Posse also taking off the Gnar. So
Hmm.
Pretty uncommon bans in pro play, but kind of expected here for this series.
Also, the Urgot being taken out here as well, really targeting X-Ray's champ pool into what he can play is the last ban we are going to get here. Looks like it's going to be a Seraphine, not wanting to get those Seraphine ults that we saw last time were really good. So, oh, they might go for the Lulu instead. Lulu was also a problem, but they were so far behind that it really didn't make a difference.
Yeah, the Lulu put in a lot of work in lane. It made the Smolder Sona's lane almost impossible to walk up to until level 6 or so. So I definitely like taking that off the table. Maybe they were like trying to big brain and bait out the Seraphine here because they've got an answer, but I like this a lot better. Protect, CC, everything you need to support.
I do like Renata here as a response, especially if that Jinx starts getting a little bit too scary. You do have the Renata
Oh,
ultimate to turn her onto her teammate. So I mean, they do have a failsafe if all goes wrong.
Braum Shield eats that though. I
Oh
will
right,
say
yeah.
that. He does his autos do apply as passive to his teammates though. Um, so that could be maybe a little bit of something here, but his the shield's gonna eat it, so maybe Jinx can't get grabbed, but that is a really good tool at slowing down the dive that's coming after this Vi, as there's the Gragas I was hoping for
Finally,
last
here he
game.
is.
Finally, Gragas. Nope, never mind.
Ah,
Oh,
it could be a
Sion,
double fake. Hold on. Oh, it's a
it was a
triple
double
fake.
fake.
It's gonna be a Shen.
I,
I don't mind the Shen.
Mhm. They
I
proved
think.
us wrong last game for
Mhm.
like maybe this could be good, maybe this could be bad. Um, Shen generally is harder to counter than most other champions, which is why we're probably seeing him here. Chill guys saving top lane, or maybe this could be a Vi top. Doubt it, but um, they saving this top lane means that you want to pick something that's very easy to blind and cannon. Holy,
I can go either way. For Kennen, I think Kennen can be strong in certain comps, but there's not. I mean, there's
I
a
think
little bit of squishiness to their comp here, but I think I think Chen will be just fine into taking this Kennen. He can get annoying as any top lane Yordle can be, but I think from what we've seen so far, I think um, Possum Posse will be able to pilot this comp whichever way they're trying to go with it, but also chill guys kind of have to kind of take the keys and get out of the jail they've kind of put themselves in.
yeah, they put themselves into a really rough spot here, putting themselves in game 3 down. They elected for the red side against. This is what they wanted. They wanted this cannon here on this counter pick into
Mhm.
Shen. It's one of the more possible matchups, but it's you cannot come from your front line here as Cannon. You have to come from a flank angle, and you have to be able to lock down the Renata to stall that hostile takeover, that ultimate coming out, because otherwise you're kind of you're diving and there's going to be no follow up, right? You're going to chunk everyone by half and then you're gone. You're disappeared. There's no one to follow up on your CC. There's no Vi coming anytime soon. So, really going to be a lot of fight execution from Chill Guys here. And so far, they've had the late game fight execution from what we saw in game 1 and game 2. They never got into a position to show that again. So, hopefully, they can make it through this early game once again. But Zin Talia is so hard to deal with.
hmm And I think just with I think chill guys is thinking the Braum can be enough to kind of give them that front line so they can engage, especially with the Call of the Week from the Syndra. So I think they have something cooking, but if it'll be enough, I don't know. They're kind of pulling out of um the pro play pool of like Vi is really good. Like you have the unstoppable, you have the setup for a lot of these carries. It's just that if they can chunk them down to um be able to make something work here early, because we've seen that uh, Possum Posse can gain a lead and be able to work with it, but we haven't really seen Chill Guys like take over an early game lead in these first 2 games. So I'm kind of excited to see because Jinx can be that very aggressive bot lane, especially with Braum once they hit 6.
Mm. So your eyes are still on bot lane, still on the Jinx, right? If you
Mhm.
had to pick, is the series ending after this game?
Like I want to say no, but we've seen Possum Posse just kind of go all at it and be able to get comfortable after that first like 15 minutes of that first game. So it's gonna be really hard to break their concentration and their confidence right now.
Mhm. So hard to break their confidence. Um, I'm taking Possum Posse. Again, I'm going to change
Mhm.
it up. I like that mid jungle that they've got going. I like what I've seen from their early games. So for me, sadly, you have to call this a 3-0. It's not as though Chill Guys isn't doing well, but man, has Possum Posse really been putting on a phenomenal series. So
Mhm.
we're going to toss it to a quick little break, very short one while we wait for the spec delay to load, make sure everything's going on, no pauses right at the start. So we'll catch you guys right as this game starts. Welcome back, everybody. Game 3, match point 4, the Possum Posse of the Summit Premier League Season 6 Grand Finals here. As once again, teams branching out a little bit. Now, Chill Guys do have this Braum, so they could elect for some little bit of early shenanigans, but looks like they're just claiming some bushes right now.
Yeah, I feel like from what has happened these last 2 games, I don't think they want to make I can't speak. Any unnecessary risks here, as they do catch Adam sleeping at the wheel as they do get the ignite off, and this might actually just be enough here to take him out. The flash is really good here to save Adam. They're gonna try to back, but maybe a flash gets the heal as well, though. It's a double tank, and that's going to be first blood over to Goblin here. And the execute is also going to come through on both of them. Adam not going to be able to get even a tickle of damage on them, and that is what you want to see here in these little first minute shenanigans you were talking about. I was really not expecting anything to go on, but gotta push it when you have it, right?
I mean, we were harping on them. They need to do something. They need to get some sort of really early advantage here. Is another early fight coming off. This Shen though is much more favorable.
You know, I don't think you want that as like your first thing, because Loco Pocos could be really weak against this Shen early, but he does have the range advantage, so he should be able to get more farm. But him on the sliver is gonna still be pretty scary.
Yeah, still gonna be really scary. It's still just a dagger for Goblin. It's not actually gonna be like that much damage. The negative of them removing first blood gold specifically, there's no 400, it's still 300. You can't get the longsword, which will normally be a huge advantage, but Seeker and Goblin have so much damage in this team off of this wave. Here, and still able to get that push down a little bit of HP right now.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to call back on the other games. It's a new game, but we've seen these winning pushing lanes before, and they just need to find a way to convert those into the mid-late game here. Because they have the gold, they have the push, they have the plating if they can get it. It's just being able to turn that into team fights on objectives, or even just little scuffles that they can win.
For sure. The little scuffles, I think, always favor the Braum team because of those concussive.
Good taunt from X-Ray there, but a good stun there from Local Poker. Just gonna trade out. The Week gonna get niggas down a little bit, but just gonna continue to push their advantage that they have early. Another good taunt. Luckily, Poco is going to get flashed on by X-Ray, and that's going to even up the score here. I think Local Poco just got too aggressive as a good stun there from the Braum, but Blobfish going to be here. Seeker maybe staying up a little bit too far, but does get the jump back. I'm trying to find a little bit more, but I still don't think they know that Blobfish is here, and Goblin gonna have to burn the barrier. And it's just not gonna be enough, but it is here, gonna pick up a kill. Hopefully onto them, living for so long, but will pick it up. Seeker is gonna be able to make it out, as we do have Cisco coming down, but to no avail, nothing is gonna be made there. But I was really scared that the Renato passive was gonna proc and Gix was gonna be able to get nothing from that.
Yeah, they need to find something from every little play. The Jinx still ahead, but now that's a lot of gold into this Xin Zhao's pocket. We saw how effective Blobfish was on it in game 1, especially. And now they've got an option to go in. They still have Handshake for Adam, so Adam's still able to make those very key flash plays with it in order to start some sort of a fight. But with that gold, with that information there, really right now these teams just returning back to neutral and just kind of waiting for these objectives to spawn.
Yeah, and I feel like these first objectives are so crucial for Chill Guys here, especially if they just want to continue to keep this lead. As Dragon comes up, it'll be interesting to see what Gix wants to call for, whether he grabs it with Dragon, but I think they need to start something soon. while they have this somewhat of an advantage, they can get onto Blobfish. A good flash there as well from Nikus.
Mostly making sure that they're just not ever going to get caught out by Geeks there. But I don't think Scatter was quite up yet for Cisco, so no, there wasn't really going to be a lot of follow-up, but you definitely don't want to eat that damage. Burning the flash is safe, it'll come back up eventually anyway. But some early priority from Chill Guys for this Dragon is going to be the vision advantage, but they don't have enough to really push it any farther than just some hopes and prayers for this Dragon.
Yeah, and definitely if they show that Dragon, all of Possum Posse was going to be corralling them into the Dragon Pit. So I want them to start it early, but I don't know if they have the ability to. With everyone mostly being up except for Manuel, he is speaking of that. They're going to be down here. Goblin getting saved here a bit by Seeker. And he is going to have to burn his flash to get away here. Doing some good damage, but not enough to really do much to Possum Posse. As they are corralling around the dragon with the mid as well.
This is so scary. Goblin can't contest here anymore. Weaver's wall is up from Nikus here, so you cannot, as Jinx, get caught up by that. Seeker can block it with the Braum Shield, but that's just Dragon Flame. There's no way Chill Guys can get into there. They're going to try and trade off for grubs right now, but Blobfish has got the move, Nikus has got the Weaver's wall, and it's a 2v2 still bot lane. This could be scary if X-Ray gets involved.
Yeah, and I mean, they really need to flip this, and they need to flip it fast to be able to get all 3 grubs here. Especially with Jinx, it'll be nice, but they need something in return instead of just going back to farming and getting nothing for that loss. But good to see that they will pick up all of the Void Grubs here. It's 3, only 1 more, and they get the full buff, so still looking up.
Yeah, it's still looking up. There's still a fine trade there found from Chill Guys in that first part to match that feat of monster. A little bit of trade. I don't think it's going to come to anything. Big realize Talia picked up Dark Seal. Nikus has Dark Seal on this Talia, so big things. I'm expecting big things from this buy. I'm expecting a lot of action happening right here. Gix is winning on this buy.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just showing the confidence that Possum Posse has in this game 3, saying that they want Nikus to get as strong as he can, as well as having the utility and come in. But another fight in the mid lane is Cisco gonna be able to do it, as well as getting one, but Cisco having to flash away from Blob as Gix is kind of gonna have to fight on his own, but doesn't really have the damage and stuff. But Blob is he's just transferring between targets. He's gonna pick up a kill onto Cisco. This is what you want to see from the Zinzao. You see him block easily. We have another fight here. The Renato ult coming out, but not going to be able to pick up anything else at the moment. Gix is just going to be down here for fun. Not really going to be able to lend a hand to anything going on down here today. Still just at full health.
We saw the precursor to something scary that could happen there with that concussive blow showing up. Seeker and Goblin stuck under their tower right now. Gix is here, doesn't HP, doesn't have cease and desist handshake.
Does have the shield and been able to block some damage for Goblin. And X-Ray does get a TP, but Goblin's gonna pick up a kill onto Adam. Unfortunately, taking another power shot, if I'm not mistaken, and picking up a free kill with not too much input. It was a good dodge from Gix, and if Gix gets stunned there or gets thrown back there, I don't think there's much he can do, especially with the floorboard being laid out there and not able to dash away.
I want to say it's called shaky ground. Let me double check. I know she says he's standing on shaky ground. I know the voice line, but I don't remember the ability name, which I think is honestly more impressive. Unraveled Earth. The red, okay. Unraveled Earth.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Seismic Compass. That sounds cooler than Ian. I like the floorboards too. That's a good one.
I'm just like trying in my head to come up with interesting names for champion abilities. Cause like I've played League for like 3 years now, and I could not tell you even on my mains what most of their abilities are. I just know like the big, like pro play ultimates that you hear all the time from like Flowers and the rest of them.
I mean, those are the really important ones for sure.
Mhm.
I like a lot of the big calls around Renata ults being the hostile takeover, especially sadly Renata not being an arcane big fry. No arcane callback. Maybe a
Damage
little
there from
revenge.
Cisco. Take a look at the gold difference here. We have Kennen up a lot of gold here, and I mean a lot of it is still just on Blobfish with the lead. Everyone else kind of lacking behind on the side of Possum Posse.
Yeah, this gold lead is pretty big for Chill Guys, but it almost feels like Possum Posse just doesn't care. It's like they're playing like they're still 5,000 gold up with how aggressive they're being, especially with Blobfish alternating on targets during that 1v2 in mid lane. Both teams have 4 up here, but TP is on Kennen here, so it's extra to stop it if they don't want this 5v5 to occur.
I mean, Gix just needs one grub, and they have 4, and they can do this. A really good E there from Nikis as he picks up one. Might be able to pick up another here. Does pick up another one. Is the Cannon all going to come in? Hostile takeover coming out, though. A lot of damage onto their own teammates. This is stunned. Zinzel's going to pick up one. Sever's going to pick up another. Jinx picking up only one here. And that is going to be a clean ace here at the Grubs fight.
Such a good hostile takeover, stopped any sort of momentum from that Kennen. He didn't even get the flash off either in order to transfer that slicing maelstrom onto everyone else. X-Ray in the bot lane did try to stop Loki Poco, just missed the flash taunt a little bit too wide on it, so Kennen was able to get through it. I was holding my breath for so long, and it was a phenomenal fight from the Possum Posse there. They did manage to claim all the grubs as well. No, I wasn't catching it. Oh, they picked up the grubs. Why would I think the team that all died picked up the grubs? I don't know.
I mean, they only needed one, and they just couldn't get it for the buffed grubs, and I think they just went in so deep that they were just kind of blinded by like, we just need one grub. They will get the dragon though for this as we cut back after that big team fight, as they have shortened that gold lead to dead even on top of the scoreboard there. Zinzao still over on the buy, and Kennen's still up on the Shen, but everyone else pretty even.
They're pretty even. Most of this lead really happening with Xin now, thanks to farm as a bit of a choke to go in there. Maybe a little worried about the Jinx. Still, he's buying so much space just with his presence. Is making it quite hard for Gix to do really anything on this vibe.
Yeah, and I mean, it's really hard when he's 4-0 and has the Sundered Sky here. Just him being there with his ultimate, being able to pick a target that's like not even Jinx. If he jumps onto the buy and Jinx is out of the, I'm gonna call it the friend zone, that's what I call a lot of those ultimates. It's just so hard for them to do anything to Blobfish when he has that up, and he can just dish out so much damage on whoever he chooses. 23 here. Also takeover and a Weaver's Wall, but all for naught as the speed from Loki Poco, but they will pick up another plating, maybe greed for one more, so the rest of the Pro guys are here. They almost take out the whole tower with 3 grubs that they do have.
They've got so much siege. Just a lot of damage really coming up from all these targets. Cisco, though, picking up that farm in mid lane, they spent a little bit to try and find that pick. I like the attempt, though. That puts a lot of pressure onto Chill Guys right now to find something. The gold has evened up with that farm, though, with how much this flea has been moving around, with how much Blobfish has really been attempting a ton of plays. Especially with how well this Kennen's farming. You can see that's like one of our bigger gold disadvantages right now. He's in that top lane. Of course, there's that 24 for Syndra in mid lane. Cisco and Loki Poco, though, really trying their best to make this work, and it's gonna come down to probably this like very pivotal third dragon fight.
Yeah, and I feel like Chill Guys have the team fight. Like they have all of the tools to have a really good team fight, but it's just putting those pieces together and not getting picked off by the hustle takeover or even by a Shen taunt that can really swing the fight if it gets onto like the Kennen or the Jinx.
Yeah, the Kennen and the Jinx are kind of like they're your big AoE, right? But I think like a big thing I forgot to really mention in the last fight was Jinx is here. Hold on, they have that cease and desist, they have that vital.
There's still a turret up in the beat. Cease and desist gonna come out and there's a lot of danger. Nicholas is gonna pick up a kill. His Seer is gonna run for his life, and Gek's gonna barely be able to make it away. Seeker still not out of harm's way just yet, as we do get another fight in the top lane, but Loco is just not strong enough to fight against Blobfish. You do not want this fight, Loco, and he is gonna fall here, going unstoppable, and that's gonna be Syndra actually picking up one back onto Nikus. They're gonna take the Rift Herald for that loss there.
Yeah, that was just tragic. Goblin didn't quite exit the tower range. He fell. They were taking up on that earlier play, trying to get a little bit of extra damage before the fight started. Because they definitely do need it with how tanky this really is. She did fall eventually, but losing your Jinx there, not getting the gold, she's dying, she's getting all the way. This Cisco might be caught out though with that Sivir ult.
Gonna be able to just barely get away there, but it's gonna be so hard, especially like Phase 3 and 4 has some Unitals, but she's gotta stack that up, and also with the feast going over to Possum Posse, it's gonna not a guaranteed win like we've talked about before, but a very good assistant in being able to get a little bit more stats for what it's worth.
Do you see if that could be it? Holy!
Oh, and the
gone.
DOD does go off, and that's just gonna be a shutdown there to Cisco. Just slowly burning, but nothing you can do with Renata by your side.
Renata didn't have the shield up to save their own teammate, sadly, and that little bailout coming out not quite enough to save them for long. And that might be Dragon Claim. Blobfish trying to make something happen though.
And luckily Poco trying to go on Nikus, but Nikus just gonna turn the fight, being able to dodge really well, but doesn't have enough damage and gets the stun. But Nikus again pick up another kill to his belt, and I think luckily Poco is just trying to take these fights, and they're just never going his way. He thinks he has like everything he needs, but he ends up just getting jumped out and ends up dying in the top lane for a solo kill. Blobfish is here, does get the Braum ult out, trying to get away, does get smited. Suddenly gonna come out, but Blobfish wanting that, does get the ultimate out. The hostile takeover as well, and that's gonna be another two falling here. It's gonna be a third here with the knockup from Blobfish. That's a double.
Double kill found for Blobfish on that flank on the Zinzao's. Just got so much damage. He's so fed right now. They cannot be stopped. Renata going into that Herald there is going to get that charge off onto the tower. Blobfish trying to do that a little bit extra actually for this on top of the charge in the tower, on top of Mythling, on top of, they did lose that dragon, however, so a little bit of slowdown in the wind of this, oh my god, of this. Why did I just forget their name? Possum Posse. They're Possum Posse. Their sails are not quite as full of the wind, but still this Zinzao has so much money.
Cruising.
Yeah, they're
I mean, they just don't have an answer for Blobfish right now. He can do whatever he wants, and they just don't have an answer. They need to find one really quick, because their macro can only get them so far. It's likely Poco going to most likely get tower dived here, but it's going to miss on the ability there for Blobfish. And they're just going to say their prayers and leave the areas. They are going to get slowed, but I don't think Blobfish wants this fight. As much as he thinks he does.
He knows he can take it and probably still win, but there's no reason to check your mechanics that hard. He's got that full Black Cleaver plus the pickaxe in his inventory on that reset. X-Ray's got the ultimate, and we have some of his teammates there. The Goblin's going to pick up that tower bot lane with a little bit of gold in Jinx's inventory. honestly, Nikus on the side lane has been so pivotal for these fights. Yeah, Blobfish has been playing really well. Adam's had some awesome hostile takeovers, and Thim's been doing their job as well. But Nikus has been enabling so much of this on their side lane. Chill guys, even in this favorable side matchup, can't do anything.
Yeah, it's so hard because you gotta catch the waves. You gotta also worry about Nick's split pushing, and then when you do get into a team fight, half of the team fight area is taken up by the hostile takeover. So there's not like an opportunity for them to team fight. I think the only opportunity they have to team fight is with Vi getting a pick off first. And Lava's gonna go in on this, getting pushed back, and the ultimate is gonna go out, but the Berserker almost taking out the hostile takeover, almost taking out locally Poco as a triple kill there for Blobfish as he took that fight and his team rallied behind him to get 4. And a tier 2 tower.
And a tier 2 tower. I was almost questioning that engage from Blobfish. I'm like, oh my god, they might actually, Chill guys might find something here, but that bailout from Renata, that hostile takeover is just so hard for them to deal with. Blobfish has so much damage on this Intel, so much sustain. On top of that, there's still the Sivir damage, there's still the bounces popping off, there's still this Shen taunting and providing that shield, there's still this Talia putting in so much work. It's the perfect storm here for Possum Posse. They're just absolutely dominant.
And while we were kind of talking over that, they do pick up the. I'm just gonna say it's a Voracious Otacon here. Not sure if I'm correct, but I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna assume that I am. A Ruinous Otacon is gonna be picked up, which is the right. And they're just going to take that XP and take all their gold in their pockets, and they're really just doesn't feel like there's any answer for Blobfish here on the Zinzao.
No, you have to get the perfect glacial fissure from Braum to stop the dive, and you have to peel off during that entirety of the Zinzao for you don't deal damage to him. Your Jinx won't deal damage to him unless she's a million. Good side pick up.
Jinx getting really low, having to back away, still getting damaged by Blobfish. He's just gonna jump on. He does get stunned, but he wants more. He wants Seeker. He's gonna be able to shield, but does get a double kill. Hungry indeed as the rest of Chill guys going to have to just cower away, and Cisco on this side lane is not safe whatsoever. Does get the vision on to Nikus, but the damage just isn't there. She's not fed enough and doesn't burst as much as you would think the Cinder should. Really strong ultimate here, but doesn't have the Seekers, but does pick up a kill here as another 2 are gonna go over to Blobfish, kind of for a hero play. Does pick up 1 onto Spin, but not gonna be enough. Cisco running for his life, actually trying to run him down, but nothing gonna come from that one. They're just going to take this dragon.
Yeah, that wind becomes lightning is very important for the team to get that increased dash range to be able to make that engage there. So respect the flash from X-Ray. Still, actually, a pretty big cooldown missed for this Shen. The taunt flash being a very key combo, as any Shen player does know. So a little bit of breathing room bot, but Blobfish just is about to reset here and buy another item. This Sivir is getting even stronger. This Talia is getting even stronger. 21 stacks on this Magi's as well. Is not to be slept on at all. We've been talking about Blobfish so much, but this Talia's also got so much damage. Everywhere you look is just danger for Chill guys.
I mean, we talked about it when we saw the Magi's. I said they had this confidence going into the Scene 3, and they have just exploded upon it, giving Talia so much damage with that Magi's, and just Blobfish leading the way. Charge. Baron is going to come up. They aren't electing to go for it right away. Blobfish hiding in the shadows here, maybe trying to jump onto Seeker or Gix. unwarranted, but not going to be in the cards for right now.
Yeah, not quite in the cards right now. So here comes Weaver Wall, Goblin caught out.
There's one going to come out, not all caught out yet, but the handshake is really going to just do Goblin in as Nikus is going to pick up the kill. And just everywhere you look, there's just a pick that Possum Posse can just find and take. And I mean, luckily Poco's trying to side lane, but he doesn't have the damage to 1v1 anybody right now. Good chunk there for X-Ray. Gonna burn the ultimate, but he's actively... Oh, he's turning the fight now, but he was actively losing that while in ultimate. But X-Ray, I don't know if you're gonna make this out here, buddy, but the Baron does go down and gives X-Ray some breathing room here. Potential dive, but he has the Baron recall, so nothing gonna happen there. He's safe and sound back in the base.
And now on top of that, Posse able to push down this tier 2 completely unabated. There's the Jinx ult to clear the wave, but those are Baroned up. Those are tanky minions. This is going to force the full reset from all of Chill Guys here. Got everyone here. They've got the cooldowns they need besides that important slicing Maelstrom. Despite Francisco going.
Really good one with the beautiful ability there from Nikus as they're going to pick up one. The ultimate from Lapa is going to come out. He's just going to go and dive in onto Seeker. Flashing out, trying to just save as much HP as possible as the hostile takeover going to just barely hit Goblin, but minimal damage to his teammates as they're still sieging this inhibitor turret as they are going to take it just for free. Just Chill Guys are not strong enough to fight this push right now as there is going to be a TP in here from Nikus as their eyes are dead set on this Nexus. I don't know if they're willing to go all in for this fight, but they look primed and ready for it. Go here and onto Loki Poco, not going to get it. Gig's going to go unstoppable here on the Nikus. The ult coming out from Loki Poco, not going to find anything. Sivir is going to take down by a stun there onto Sivir as a really good Jinx utility there to take them down. Adam stepping up, that's a triple kill for Goblin here. Still has the excited stacks, but moving them off now is X-Ray and Tim are going to try to get away, but Cisco really wants this, and he will pick up another shutdown. And this is going to be a really big Syndra when he gets back to base.
It's going to be a big Syndra double kill claim from Jinx. They're evening up that gold in between these two 80 carries as well. Gold's getting a little more even, but that jungle disadvantage there, that's a lot of gold on Xin Zhao right now. That was a huge fight, a great rocket there from Goblin, but it's still so hard to really say that's the pivotal fight. That's the way that they can get in there, but it's a little bit of breathing room. It's a sigh of relief. It's more time bought, because if that fight doesn't happen there, that next Nexus tower is down, and that's all of what's left of your base to really defend yourself. So I do like that fight now, and with that, Kennen still got this flash up for this next dragon here. That's really your only option to make a flank play right now, and because once again you can't fight head on. The Xin Zhao is so strong, even Braum can't really survive against him. But all this space for the Possum Posse really tells me that Chill Guys wants nothing to do with this dragon.
Yeah, and they just cleaning up that bot side as they start the dragon. Gig's trying to find anything in that top side jungle. Because they're just going to spread this down, putting them onto Soul Point here. And they did get gifted a lot of gold from, I think, the hubris of Possum Posse pushing the base and thinking they were really strong, which they are, but I mean, when you have a setup like that and you get Syndra to throw her balls down on top of you, doing all of that damage, I mean, it's a recipe for disaster for that team fight.
Yeah, it was the perfect storm once again, but it blew in Chill Guy's favor. Now you're waiting for 2 or 3 of more of those to really show up. The big thing that did get cut down there was those Magi stacks from Talia. That was a lot of their AoE damage, but Sivir got the reset off, has that BF sword on top of the IE, on top of that Lord Dominic's. So even the Braum, who was able to really tank up from her, is not able to anymore, so it's tough.
Good move from Nikus, getting some damage onto Cisco. Cisco down. The completed ability there from a complete ability there from local Poco for one. Not gonna really even give a cut to Possum. The Weaver Bolt's gonna come in. Jace decides to go in onto it, getting the cease and desist on the Nikus, but he's just so tanky. Doesn't really care. X-Ray still full HP, trying to escort him out, but Cisco just going to take down Nikus, and this is the burst that I was expecting from Cisco's Syndra here. But I mean, Alfred really not really, as they're gonna take an inhib for free and the turret, and Blockfish is gonna pick up that gold. So I mean, you won a kill onto Nikus. I don't even say a fight. You won the kill onto Nikus, but you lose your inhibitor and an inhibitor turret.
Yeah, and you're losing.
Like, it's a small win. And, yeah, you're just losing their camps as they leave.
No cease and desist here. Hesitating.
Adam might just be the sacrifice here, and he's gonna go and get popped there, and Gix is gonna pick up that kill, but Sim will make it out unscathed.
Adam honestly rightfully greeting their flash. That blast plant was still, actually no, didn't took the blast plant, I'm pretty sure, so you probably could have flashed over the wall to be safe. It's still fine to keep that. Adam has been a very a big fan of the flash is only an engage tool and nothing else. I vibe with that too, to be honest. I like that, especially from a Renata with the handshake and how pivotal some of those have been for some picks. But still, Nikus dying again, loses some of those Magi stacks. A little less damage now coming out of this Dilly, a little bit more room. Bot Jinx now has all 4 of those items completed. Those are the 4 components Jinx needs to carry. So everything is really on Chill Guys and really on Loki Poco on this Kennen with those like pivotal slicing Maelstrom flanks. No flash this time, no TP really for it, so it's gotta be a perfect vision play from him in order to make this happen.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of the time he's not even coming in from a flank, he's just going in head on, using Hextech Rocket Belt and slamming R and Zonia's, which isn't bad. Like, they picked up a lot of good fights from that, but there's gotta be a little bit more here from Chill Guys to really swing this game and keep in it. Because Talia just kind of hanging out up on the top side, but again, this Xin Zhao still really strong. Cinder kind of catching up as well as Jinx and Gold, so they are going to be a problem. But if Xin Zhao can play around their range, he can really do some damage here.
Yeah, there's definitely a possibility still, though. That's why can't I remember the name of this item? Okay, it's the armor item that makes it so ADCs crit less. Ronduin's Omen. There we go. It took a second. I hate that when I said what it does, I remember what it's called, but still. X-Ray might be. Never mind, it's Shen. But that's gonna make this Jinx do a little less damage on top of Xin ults. Jinx really doesn't want to be inside of that, so it's tough for the Xin Zhao to really be dealt with after the first couple, like, he gets, what, 5 seconds pretty much to just exist in immunity aside from Talia, and not Talia, aside from Vi and Kennen damage at this point. So that's a lot of tank, a lot of space he's going to buy, and a lot of time for Adam to get the perfect hostile takeover angle. Nick is still on this dragon. This is Soul. It's most likely even given up. If they give this up, it's a 50-50 on Baron.
They were leaving Nikus there for a moment to just take the dragon. There's Xin Zhao just hanging out on the top side, but they have enough damage, and Chill Guys don't have the urgency to come and get it, and they're just going to take the soul for themselves. 3 Chem Dragons and an Infernal Dragon here. Really, really nice here for Blobfish.
Yeah, on top of that, this is damage reduction when you're below 50% HP. It's huge. It's healing advantages. Handshake?
Good engage here from Adam, but Seeker gonna be able to get out with about half of HP left, but still a really good chunk of his health that they're gonna start here on the Baron very aggressively when everyone is up. They don't have vision here on this. They do see X-Ray jumping over, but I'm gonna back off for now. They don't really want this fight while they're trying to take down Baron. But Blobfish gonna want this fight as the Weaver Wall comes out, but Nick is choosing not to take it as the slow is just killing their momentum right now and trying to get in for this fight. They have so much AoE to slow down Blobfish's engage now. It's really hard for him to get a full head of steam and get in there.
Hit the Syndra Flash, and that's going to be a pretty good time, a pretty long time for them to really find this fight. They're just going to wait for this Sivir ult and this Weaver's Wall from Talia to come back, and then they can just take it again. Though Chill Guys understands the sense of urgency. They need to do this. They need to start this. There's no way for Xin Zhao to get back. He backs. So it's up to X-Ray Nickers to do something.
They are able to chunk the card out, X-Ray taking up a lot of damage, and they will take the Baron. But really win this team fight. X-Ray still alive, gonna get a flash down, also take the first two down, and the two carries are just going to take each other out, and that's gonna be 3 for Adam there with a hostile takeover, and 1 for Sivir, as Talia is going to take down Goblin here, and this might spell the end of the game right here, and it most likely will. With 40 seconds on everyone's revive.
It will. That was one of the best uses of hostile takeover I've ever seen, including the years the champion's been out. X-Ray gonna die. It doesn't matter. It's the series for Possum. It's the first 3-0 in Premier history. Congratulations to the Possum Posse.
Very convincing 3-0 as well. Like every game they had control. They had the team fight go in their favor. They even in that second game when we were very like, oh, this is very solo queue, what's gonna really mesh with each other, they found a way to make it work in really convincing fashion as well, even though they were like getting pushed under tower for the first 7 minutes.
That was like the big dicey game. Everything else, they felt so calm, so in control. Even in like game one was like a question mark, but it's so easy to chalk that up um to first game jitters, and they were able to overcome it. Game two came back, solo queue comp, all ego, let's run at you, let's do it, and it worked. Comeback game three, let's do it again, but this time with a little more control, a lot more options, and holy was that a domination. I While we're kind of trying to bring in X-Ray for an interview, quick question: MVP of the
Blobfish,
series,
he was like what,
Blobfish?
14-1, 14-2 at the end of that game or whatever it was. He
There
was
was
really
there was no
really strong.
second on that.
Yeah,
No
I
second
mean,
of no second of like there was not a thought. Blobfish did. I'd also pick Blobfish. My runner up though, to be honest, is I got to think about that for a second because like it's so obviously Blobfish
mhm.
for me as well. It's like when I think about everyone else, like yeah, I liked what I saw from Adam in support, especially game one and game three. That hostile takeover at the very end kind of leans me toward there, but Nick is also in mid lane, making sure that Blobfish can just really spin around. You know, you set up the dice and they go. So I think I gotta give it to Nickus as well as like a you tried medal, but Blobfish is 100% my MVP.
Yeah, it was just there was just so much domination in that jungle, just being able to be ahead, be able to. I think the main thing was objective priority for a lot of those, and being able to use his power spikes for the advantage on those big objective fights, and be able to snowball that way. Because once you win the objective, um, and you turn on that, you reap the rewards of the gold, and then you hit your next power spike that much faster, and then by that time the next dragon's up, and it's just a symbiotic relationship.
Mhm. Was complete and utter domination from the Possum Posse there. Um, I kind of I have to think about like what was your favorite team fight, right? Do you have like a
Mhm.
favorite team fight at all? Because for
It
me,
might have
I'm
been
I'm
that
thinking from
last
game one.
game. I think it might have
Mhm.
been from that last game, with like chill guys were so like in that team fight and they were ready to fight, and then the hostile takeover comes in and it's just all lost because you have these really strong carries and they're just fighting each other.
Yeah, and welcome X-Ray. Congratulations
Hello.
on winning. We got a short little interview. I got a couple questions lined up. I don't know if Basmatics has some themselves,
Might have
but real
one.
quick,
All
you're a
right.
repeat winner, right? Congratulations, season 6 champion, but you've won in the past. How do you foster a winning environment with that
Uh,
repeated success?
um, I'm not a repeat. I have
Mhm,
one before though. So, but
mhm.
honestly, I want to give a big shout out to my team. You know, really, really big goats. We sat down and ask as a team at the start of the season, hey, what do we want to do? Do we want to win? Do we want to have fun? And we all came to the consensus that we want to win. So, every week we put in some time. We put in some scrims, or flex, something like that along the lines. And we just grew as a team closer and, really good communication for all the allegations saying we were toxic. If you watch back the whole, like our whole series or like every single series this series or this season, I don't think we've had like toxic comms once.
No little sprinkle of APA in the all chat or
I mean, listen, we little bits, but nothing like we're flaming our teammates like, hey, why are you doing this in the middle of the series? Even if we did lose a game, we addressed it after the series, and we were like,
Mhm.
hey, what's the problem?
yeah, for sure. That's a really good mindset to have, just to not like tilt mid game. Things happen, like especially um in game one and I think it was
Game
just
1.
game
Game 1.
one. Yeah, game one. You guys like really like shoved, and everyone felt like they were losing lane, and it's just like you don't need to be like I'm trying to think of the words for it. Like you guys felt really like backs against the wall, and then as the game went on, you just kind of went through and scaled, and it was really nice to see.
Yeah, and we knew like going into the game, it's like we scaled way better than them. Like we have Vigar, Sivir, and we just got to play fights front to back, and we had really good communication. Nico, really good shot caller, Blob, really good at making plays happen. So, um, you know, we just had really good communication, and we knew our win con. And when we just had really good fights and really good looks for our team, we just went in and capitalized on that.
That's great to hear. So everyone here in the booth, I said it as well during the game. We kind of questioned that game 2 draft. Called it a little solo QS, not as like a derogatory, but like it looked kind of questionable. What was the thought behind it?
Um, so we had been prepping for this team because I don't know if you guys know, but we did lose to this team in regular season.
Mm,
Mm.
So we this was kind of like our wake up call. This team kind of woke us up like, hey, we're a good team, but we need to know how to, we need to know how to play into every team comp. And Loco Poco, I played with that guy last season. He is a really big planner. He looks at past drafts, streams, counter picks, everything. He looks at pretty much everyone on their team and like just deep dives into them soul and like it's like what's your social security number, all that kind of stuff. um but we actually did the same thing and did like really deep dive, and we knew like the Sivir pick was something that Goblin was going to pick. So Smolder Thim was like Smolder is a good pick, and early game, it definitely was rough for Thim, but once we did that lane swap, Thim just kind of unlocked, got his stacks back up, and popped off. And the Cho'Gath, whew, that was crazy.
that was
I was not expecting to go 8-0.
that was a crazy Cho'Gath game. I'll give you that for sure. Um, and kind of going crazy. Even getting counterpicked by the Kennen and Shen, you still got the solo kill right away on the board, one on the board right away, got the victory. Was it motivated at all from getting counterpicked? Was there anything behind it, or is it just like it's all business?
Oh Man, I'm a weak side top laner, so I am always, I'm always like, oh, I'm gonna get counterpicked, but guess what? I'm playing weak side. If I can create advantage for my top side, it's all good. And you know, I think Loco, well, because in our we did planning, he was only comfortable on two champions this season was Nar and Poppy, and
Mhm.
so when he picked Kennen, I was like, okay, I'm not too worried. I mean, it's a bad matchup, but I'm pretty prepared. And and when I got the solo kill, I was just like, all right, I'm locked in. I'm ready to go. Bought symbiotic boots. Those are busted, by the way. And you know, played crazy. I think Loco is a good player, and love the guy, but I think he came in a little cocky. I should say.
Yeah, I mean, we could kind of see it from looking from the outside. Like they were so close to these games at certain times. Like they had like one or two plays that they felt like they didn't go their way, and then
Mhm.
they kind of just crumbled. But even in that last game on the Cannon, it just kind of felt like Loco was trying to throw like a hero ball, and it would land a few times, but like it wouldn't turn into anything crazy.
Yeah.
But
Well, and we had even in before draft, we knew, hey, Kennen is going to be looking for deep these TP flanks in the back line, and and we knew that before draft, so it was a lot onto me
mhm,
of like commenting, hey, Kennen has TP here, he can look for a TP flank,
mhm,
and we just kept our wards up, and Adam's game, that game was to every time we have a team back, uh, is everyone buy control wards, and
mhm,
now we didn't do it very well. There was a couple times where we team back, but didn't quite buy all control words. But
mhm.
we had really good vision that game, and it was all thanks to Adam. Big shout out to him.
I do actually want to say one more thing before we head out. Especially with Adam on that Nautilus, it felt like that was like a really big confidence boost for you guys because he just looked unstoppable.
Mhm.
Every time his hex flash was up, he would have something. What was your just like thought process like for those team fights? As soon as like the hook hits, like what's going on?
I mean, Adam played out of his mind this series. Renata is like his most played this season, so he absolutely you know
It was clean.
s-
He
he
looked
was
so
he was
good.
clean. He's played so well. Adam. He was my last pick in the draft, and at first I was like, I don't know, but as like I played with him more and more, I was like, this guy is going to be the best support in the league. I have confidence. Like he is like he's very communicative. He's willing to learn, and he's just listening to like the calls, and he's able to make plays. He's got a really big champ pool, so Adam, is a goat, last pick. I at first I wasn't thinking about packing him, and then like Adam just happened to be on my list, and I saw him. I was like, that's the guy. I got faith in him.
That
All
is
right.
great to see. Congratulations to Mr. Irrelevant, I guess, as
The
you got a quick
last
shout
pick.
out. Congrats to the Possum Posse, as well as thank you X-Ray for coming here for the interview. Sounds like you guys were
Yeah,
confident throughout the season and happy to succeed. And congratulations on being the first 3-0 in the history of the Summit
yeah.
Premier League.
I got one more
So
thing to say before we
okay,
leave.
floor is
I'm
yours.
Ahead.
actually I'm actually going to be retiring after this season. No more summit.
No more
No
Oh
summit.
summit.
no,
No more summit.
he's
Ki-
pulling the Tom Brady. He's
Yeah,
he's
I'm pulling
winning
the
the
Tom Fred.
championship and getting out.
But don't worry. Don't worry, I'm coming back and I'm bringing back content, baby. We're bringing back content. I'm gonna be back for content. Don't you worry. Wanted to just get that win in before I left Summit permanently. Maybe I'll come back as a sub, but I'm gonna take a little break and pump out some content for Summit Esports.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you for doing that. It's awesome to see when players who win continue to come back. Bring on a little Manning cast esque energy, hopefully with a lot less
Oh,
boomerism and a lot more fun.
So I mean,
Uh,
I've been in this league since the start of it, before it was even called Summit. So
Mhm.
you know, I got a lot of heart and soul, and I know a lot of the players, so I can trash talk a lot of them, and they kind of just get angry at me, and I'm just like, you know, I'm here to just make content. I'm hoping to make everyone happy. All right, I'm out of here. Thank you,
he's getting
gentlemen, for
shepherd's hooked.
casting.
Yeah,
No
thank you.
problem.
Production's yelling at me. I'm sorry. Goodbye, gentlemen.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Alright, no problem.
No
All
problem. And
right. Go
one last
ahead.
thank you to X-Ray for sitting here for the interview. And that will wrap up this season of the Summit Premier League. Season 6 coming to a close. Possum Posse winning it out. And quick little self shout out, as we've been allowed to gracefully by our producer, who did an awesome job throughout the series. Lizrack. Is it Lizrack? Lizrack? I don't know. Proton? Interesting. Thank you, Proton, for producing and inviting me and Basmatics for out for the cast. I'm Halfling. Go by Halfling Fake on Twitch if you've been seeing me yap in the chat. I'm there every so often. Um, However, I'm out at halfling_caster on Twitter. You can catch me there, remembering sometimes to post up where I'm casting.
Yeah, and for me, it's this one up here for YouTube, and then on Twitter, if I decide to post, it is DSTNcasts. Well, yeah, that's all for me. If you want to take us out, Halfling, if you'd be so gracious,
I
be
can
awesome.
do that real quick. Thank you for having us here. We will see you all in the next season, in the next podcast of the Summit Premier League. Everyone have a great night.